computer. And then I usually have this thing printed, but not today. So I'm going to pull it up here. And then let's go ahead and I'll just call everybody out and I'll start in the order that I'm seeing. You'll just tell me your name, where you're located, and who you're reading for. And then my special guests, Mike, Rebecca, Christopher, and Mariah. If you guys will tell us a little bit about your careers, I think that would be wonderful. So, Janine, go ahead. Oh no.
There we go. My name is Janine. This is I live in Groton, Connecticut, and this is my second time working with Ashley, and I think she's absolutely wonderful. Um, and I'm looking forward to doing another one with her. And I am reading Diane tonight.
Mike?
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm in Orange County, California, but I'm originally from Connecticut. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut, and so I know where Groton is. And I am reading for the real pain.
Yeah, for BENJI.
Yeah. And oh, my
Sure,
career.
tell us a little bit about what your career is doing, what it's looked like in the
Oh,
past.
yeah. In the past, it hadn't looked like anything, but I did a few things with Ashley and some of her people. They came out into students and I auditioned for, I guess my career is going in the way of like, I guess I play either like a cop or a bad guy or heavy or something. And
Do you,
so this is,
are you auditioning a lot or do you produce stuff?
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm auditioning a lot. I've booked a couple of things this week, um, and a couple of like, uh, people's projects. I'm playing a pirate in next month and something, which is really cool. It's good writing, you like you were saying, it's important to know good writing. And I'm a writer. That's uh, I came with in TV. I used to write uh, TV stuff, but so I just I wrote a short film. I'm hoping to get out to sci-fi horror comedy, and then um, what else? Oh, I'm writing a book called The Stunt Woman, and she's a former stunt woman turned soccer mom who has to save her kids and do stunts again.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
but this
Thank
is a
you.
good. I'm glad we're reading this. I don't gravitate toward these types of movies, so it's good that because
Oh,
I
it's so
started when I
good.
was reading it, I was like, oh, this is good.
And BENJI is such an interesting character, hence the Oscar win for Kieran Culkin. So it's a really great character. Rebecca, tell us about you, babe.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. Um, I'm reading for James today. I'm located in White Plains, New York, so very close to Stamford, Connecticut. I know where Groton is. I work in Bridgeport. By day, I work in a college, doing academic advising and some teaching. And by night, I do table reads, I do book editing, book publishing, book marketing. I wrote a poetry book that was released last year called Finding Poetry, Finding Me. Um, I write a lot with Cora, and that's how we know each other. And I also occasionally attend a workshopping series called Cold Lemonade in Sherman, Connecticut, where I've both acted and presented short 10-minute plays and segments of plays and stuff. So really awesome.
Christopher.
Had to unmute myself. First off, please call me Chris. It
Oh,
says
sure.
Christopher. I was gonna say we had a class earlier, so they make me use my full name. We're from Orlando, essentially. It's probably the easiest way to describe where we're at. Me and Mariah both. We actually met doing a play. We've known Cora for 7 years now. I think Mariah's known her a little bit longer. Um, we've done multiple shows with them where I'm behind the scenes and Mariah's behind the scenes, and I've done a couple where I got to act in it. So 48 Hour Film Challenge did that one. So I'm more of a on-stage actor. I've only done one where I'm actually in front of a camera, so but I'm reading for I'm gonna pronounce it wrong because I haven't seen the movie yet. Elegy and Mark.
Mark, it's Eloge.
Eloge.
Eloge. Mm-hmm.
So
Wonderful. Joseph.
I am Joe Bafumi. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I was born and raised in Middletown, Connecticut, though, so we've got quite a few Connecticut people
Yeah,
here.
look at that.
And I am reading for David.
Mariah, last but not least.
Hi, I'm Mariah. Um, like Chris said, we live about in the Orlando area, near the theme parks. I work in entertainment in the theme parks during the day, and on the weekends or whenever Space Dream Productions is in town, I am doing whatever they need me to. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff or some acting for them, whatever it may be. Um, and really excited to be reading for Marcia today. So,
Hmm. So my students that want that, you guys hear me a lot say that you kind of have to have a parallel career always. I have several students that are like, oh, I can't wait to be doing this full time. I can't wait to be doing this full time. And it's like, sure, we all can't wait for that moment, but the majority of actors and performers, of people in showbiz, do not get the chance to do this full time. We're always hustling for multiple jobs, doing multiple things. It's called multi-hyphenate. You see a lot of writers, and then I work behind the scenes too, and I did it, we're always hustling for work. And so having that mindset of knowing what you're getting into before you like dive all in, right? Knowing that the hustle is the job, right? The hustle is part of the life. Do occasionally people make it to where they get to do this full time? Sure. But even the series regulars that I know, when their show is on hiatus, they're hustling again for work, or I have a friend that's done two series regulars on shows. He owns his own house. He's doing okay, but in between shows, he teaches for Soul Cycle. And he's a fitness coach for Soul Cycle, right? So he still goes back to that job and he still does it. So just keeping that expectation of this is what I do and I find enjoyment in my life day in and day out. And that allows me to be able to do table reads and absorb the joy in every little moment. Is key to a long-term success in this business because then you're not going to burn out and then you're not going to get so disappointed that, oh, I didn't make it by the time I turned 30. That was a thing in my head and it like broke me on my 30th birthday, right? We can't have that stuff. We have to understand what the expectation of what this life looks like as a professional performer. Okay. So I love that you guys told me more than just your acting, those of you that have been working professionally in this business for a while. I love that. So that's kind of what I was expecting to hear. So thank you for sharing all of that with me. I'm Ashley again. I'm going to be reading the narrator in a bunch of like little parts, like one-liner co-star type roles. And that's going to be it. Any questions? No? All right. So if you aren't speaking for a while, go ahead and mute. If you've got a lot like Benji and David, probably stay off mute for for the time being. Otherwise, just let's pay attention, have fun, pick up each other's cues, see what you guys are doing, and let's see what your personalities bring to the script. Okay, here we go. A Real Pain by Jesse Eisenberg. Interior JFK Airport morning. As the credits roll, we very slowly zoom in on a young man sitting alone on a bench at a busy airport. Cue Chopin's Nocturne, Opera 9, number 2, I think is how you say it. We get glimpses of the young man's face as morning travelers pass in front of him. This is BENJI KAPLAN. He has an absent look on his face that borders melancholy. When we finally arrive in close-up, the title appears over his face, A Real Pain. Exterior, Brooklyn Street, day. In a verdant Brooklyn Heights neighborhood, David hustles down the street. He's on his phone, leaving a message for someone.
Hey, Benji, it's me. I'm just leaving my apartment. Remember, we got to be there 3 hours early. Just ring me when you get this.
Exit BQE day, following David's Uber from behind as it's stuck in traffic. Interior Uber day. David is in the back seat, harried and leaving a series of messages.
Hey, Benji, I hope you left already. I'm stuck in a little traffic on the BQE in case you can avoid it. Just ring me when you get this.
Another message.
Benji, it's me. Good news. Traffic just cleared up. In case you were worried. Anyway, ring me when you get this.
And another.
Yo, Benji, it's me. I'm sorry I'm leaving so many messages. You can just disregard them because I'll be there soon and I can't wait to see you. And I will not leave you another message.
Interior JFK Airport day. David arrives at the airport, leaving another message as he heads towards the check-in kiosk.
Hey, Benji, I just got to the airport. I really hope you left already or are on your way. Just ring me when you get this.
He hangs up and approaches a kiosk and begins checking in. Benji approaches from behind. He's carrying a huge purple hiking backpack.
Dude,
Benji, yo,
what's up, cuz?
come here. It's so good to see you.
Yo, step back. Let me look at you. Let me look at you. Turn around. Turn around. Let me get the whole picture. Shit, man. Look at you. All healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, he should probably check you in. I did a thing online, but
No, I'm good. I checked in a while ago.
did you?
Yeah.
When did you get here?
2 hours ago.
Really? The flight's not for another 2 hours.
Yeah, but they open up the airport super early. You can just hang out
Oh,
and you meet the craziest people here. I met this guy, Kelvin, who was from Brunei. Fucking Brunei. I never met anyone from Brunei. Dude was telling me all about his business. Dude, I think he's actually an arms dealer. But he seemed totally at peace with the whole thing. Like,
wait, who?
Kelvin.
Oh, right. And did you eat anything?
Yeah, a while ago.
Okay, I'm gonna want to get something before we take off if that's cool.
Don't worry. Picked you up a yogurt. It's a little warm, but
Did you really get this for me?
of course, dude. I figured you'd be rushing around and everything.
Thank you, Benji.
David prints his ticket and they begin walking towards the gate.
I also got some shit for us when we get in, like very, very good shit.
You're not taking weed into Poland, right,
Don't give a
Benji?
shit about that stuff, man. Come on.
I think they very much do give a shit about that stuff.
Oh, like they're gonna arrest two Jews in Poland for a little weed. That's a good look for the Polish people.
All right, try to keep it down.
Can't touch us, dude. We basically got government immunity there. The prodigal sons have returned.
Interior JFK Airport hallway day. From behind, we see two cousins walking towards security. As they pass a garbage, David suddenly tosses out the yogurt. Interior JFK Airport security day. On the security line, the boys place their bags on the conveyor belt. David eyes Benji's bag nervously. Benji seems completely at ease. He makes eyes with the cute TSA agent.
Hey, what's up?
David clears security and watches from a distance as Benji charms the TSA agent. He's animated and funny. David is in awe of his cousin's charisma. Benji grabs his bag and hustles up to David.
Yasmin is so dope.
Who?
The TSA girl. Her dad does security for the Knicks.
Interior JK Airport gate day. Benji and David wait at the gate. David is eating trail mix. Benji eyes it.
Do you want some? Priya made it for me.
Oh, sure.
Benji casually takes the bag and digs in.
Yo, so how you been, man?
Honestly, I've been great, like really great.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, definitely.
You want to talk about anything?
Like what?
Uh, like the last few months?
What about him?
David wants to bring something up but can't. Benji stares at him, something unspoken passing between them.
Do you want to go over our tour itinerary or anything?
Oh, yeah, sure.
David takes out a pamphlet. Benji grabs it and hands Dave his trail mix.
You mind holding this for a minute?
Sure.
Eat as much as you want.
Thanks. Don't you think it would be nice for us to see where Grandma was from, where she lived?
Yeah, maybe. I Just sucks that she's not here with us.
Well, she was really suffering the last couple of years.
Yeah, I know. That sucks too.
Benji looks out the window, squinting into the sun. Cue Chopin's Nocturne. Interior airplane day. The boys approach their seats. Benji is still chomping on David's trail mix.
What seat do you have?
Uh, 24C.
I'm B. Looks like we got middle and window.
Right.
Mind taking the middle?
Interior airplane day. A few minutes later, David is squished in the middle seat. Benji is in the window and somehow comfortably spread out.
How you feeling in there, dude?
It's a little tight.
Yeah.
So are you still looking for a job?
Nah. You're gonna have to like work the whole trip.
Nope. I was able to take off completely. I want to be here. I want to be present.
Cool, cool, cool. Are you still selling shit online?
Well, I don't sell old jerseys on eBay. I do digital ad sales. God, I don't think we've spoken since I changed jobs. You know when you see like a ad banner online?
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Hey, come on.
No, I mean everybody hates that shit, right?
Maybe. Do they? I don't know, but I sell those.
No, that's cool. That's cool. You're like making the world go round. It's not your fault. You're just part of a fucked up system.
Well, without online ads, a lot of sites you're using for free wouldn't be able to exist. It's kind of the lifeblood of the internet. I'm actually working on a campaign I think you would really like with this young startup.
In front of the plane, the Polish flight attendant begins a safety demonstration. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could direct your attention to... David lowers her voice, but keeps talking to Benji.
So it's a bunch of really sharp kids who,
No, dude, I think they want us to pay attention.
yeah, I just wanted to tell you about this.
It's kind of rude.
Seriously?
Yeah, man, they're just trying to do their jobs.
David is embarrassed. He looks as Benji is completely engaged with the safety demo. The flight attendant makes a little joke about seatbelts, and Benji laughs heartily. Cue Chopin's Nocturne. Interior airplane night. Later on the plane, David is awake and exhausted. He looks over to Benji, who is slumped against the window in a deep, comfortable sleep. Two small, empty bottles of wine sit on Benji's tray. Later, David is on the phone watching a video of his son.
How many floors is the Empire State Building?
103.
Burj Khalifa?
155. No, 156. Yeah, 156.
Hudson Yards?
112, but the balcony is on 100. David rewinds the video and rewatches it, missing his son. Later, David digs a bottle of prescription pills out of his bag. He has a few drops left in a water bottle and swallows one pill. Later, the plane lands. The lights come on. David hasn't slept. He's bleary-eyed. Benji is sleeping with a pained expression on his face.
Yo, Benji. Benji.
Benji stirs awake. Interior Warsaw Airport, early morning. The boys walk through the airport, both exhausted from the flight.
You want to get some breakfast?
Benji shakes his head. He has a dark look in his eyes. Interior Warsaw Airport, customs area, morning. The boys walk through the nothing to declare side of customs. David is silently panicking as he watches Benji's bag go through the sensor. David makes nervous eye contact with the serious Polish TSA agent. Benji is unfazed as his bag emerges on the other side. Interior Warsaw Airport, morning. After they've cleared customs, Benji looks bleak.
Are you okay?
What? I don't know. Hey, there's our guy.
Benji points to a Polish driver holding a sign that says Heritage Tours, KAPLAN. Benji bounds over to him.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Interior car, morning. The boys are in the car, heading into town. Benji is staring out the window. David is staring at his phone, AirPods in his ears, watching the video of his son. Benji elbows David. David takes out an AirPod.
What are you looking at?
Oh, nothing. Just this little video.
Of what?
Oh, it's stupid. I think I'm already homesick. It's just Abe. He's obsessed with buildings now. He wants to know the height of every skyscraper. It's kind of like all-encompassing.
Benji nods and turns back outside. After a moment,
Yo, let me see it.
The video?
Yeah, can I see it?
Sure, yeah, of course.
David gives Benji one of his AirPods. They both watch the video together. Benji scrolls back and plays it again. David is surprised. He notices that Benji has tears in his eyes.
He's fucking gorgeous, man. You're lucky.
Thanks.
Benji looks back out the window. Exterior Warsaw morning. They arrive on an upscale chain, the Warsaw Central Hotel. Interior Warsaw Hotel morning. They approach the front desk. That's in Polish. Welcome to the Warsaw Central Hotel.
Hi, yes. We're checking in. We're with the Heritage Tour. KAPLAN, Benjamin and David. I have our passports here.
Yes, of course. Welcome. You're the final ones to arrive, and I think I have a package for you. It's sitting here for many days.
Yeah, that's for me. Thanks, man.
The receptionist hands over a shoddily wrapped little box. David is baffled as he receives the room keys. You're on the fifth floor, and there's a group meeting in 30 minutes.
Thank you so much.
David gathers the passports and keys and begins walking to the elevator, eyeing Benji's box.
What the hell is that?
It's the weed. I told you, it's good stuff. It's from Todd, this fucking barber in Ithaca. Oh,
Wait, you mailed yourself weed?
I mailed us weed.
Oh, I thought you were taking it through the airport.
Really?
Yeah, really. Did you not see how nervous I was?
I did. I just thought that was you.
Interior Warsaw Hotel hallway day. The boys exit the elevator and begin walking towards their room. Benji suddenly swings his arm around David's neck, lovingly and rough.
I'm so fucking happy to be here with you.
Me too.
Interior Warsaw hotel room day. The boys enter their room, begin unloading their gear and taking off their layers.
We got a half hour. I'm definitely gonna need a shower.
Yes, sir. Good idea.
David takes his socks off and sniffs. Benji notices.
Yo, dude, I totally forgot. You have super nice feet.
Do I?
Yeah. And they've aged really well, really well. Your toes are like mad straight. It's nice.
Thanks, man.
No weird feet knuckles or stray hairs. Very classy.
Okay, thank you. I guess I never really evaluated them.
Never evaluated your own feet? Damn. They're graceful as shit, just like grandma's.
You remember Grandma's feet?
Of course, dude. She'd always wear those plastic fucking pink sandals from Target. She strutted that hot shit all over town, man.
Uh, I never noticed.
Benji sits on the bed next to David.
Yo, Davey, sometimes when I look at you, I see her.
I look like an old Jewish woman?
No, man. You just look wise. It's beautiful.
David chokes up to his surprise. He looks away, embarrassed.
All right, I got a shower.
Cool. You mind if I shower first?
Sure, we just got to be down in a half hour.
Copy that. Can I borrow your phone?
For what?
I like to listen to music in the shower.
Don't you have a phone?
Yeah, but it doesn't play music.
Uh, okay.
David hands Benji his phone, and Benji goes to the bathroom. David lies on his bed, doesn't know what to do with himself. He hears Benji start playing music. Benji cycles through multiple songs to find a good one. David is frustrated.
You okay?
Benji finally settles on the Uniques, My Conversation.
Yup.
20 minutes later, another reggae song is playing from the bathroom. David is lying on the bed, still waiting for the shower. He stares at his bare feet, evaluating them. We zoom in on David's face, zoom in on his feet. Time seems to slow down. Suddenly, Benji sticks his head out from the bathroom, blow drying his hair, shouting over the noise.
You should probably head down.
Interior Warsaw Hotel hallway, morning. The two guys walk down the hallway. Benji is freshly showered and relaxed, and David is sweaty and exhausted. Interior Warsaw lobby, morning. The guys walk through the hotel lobby. As they near the restaurant, they see James, a young British tour guide, finishing the conversation with a hotel employee.
Speak Polish murder. Let me guess. David and Benjamin?
Hi, yeah. You're James?
Yes. Hi. I didn't mean to accost you. I just wanted to intercept you in case you couldn't find us.
Oh, thanks. And I'm sorry we're a little late.
Yeah, we just wanted to shower before we came down.
Interior Warsaw Hotel restaurant day. James leads the guys towards the corner of the restaurant.
We're a relatively small group, which will be nice and intimate.
They arrive at the table of 4 other tourists who James addresses.
Success. I found them. Everyone, this is Benji and David.
Hi.
What's up, everybody?
The group kind of nods towards the boys.
Sit. So I was just about to ramble on about myself. Hopefully you won't be too sick of me by the end of the week.
Some titters from the group. Benji joins in, laughing heartily, like he's been here the whole time, and David clocks him.
As I was saying, I'm James. Be your British tour guide through Poland. You'll have to excuse the posh accent. It's all a ruse. I'm a scholar of Eastern European studies at Oxford. I'm obsessed with this part of the world and in particular the Jewish experience, which is fascinating and tragic and beautiful. I'm usually the only non-Jew on these trips, so please feel free to correct me on anything that feels inauthentic to you or your family's experience. I can also speak Polish, a bit like a precocious 10-year-old, so I'm happy to translate anything to make your trip as meaningful and personal and satisfying as it could be. So blah 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 blah. I'll stop talking now. Who wants to go next? Why are you here? What are you interested in? Someone take over.
Marcia, 60s, sharp and wry. We got Mariah. She frozen? Oh no.
I think she might be.
Yeah. Little frozen.
Chris, if you can have her refresh, I'll read this line, but I just want her to be able to chime in as soon as she's back.
Yeah.
I'll be brave. I'll go. Hi, I'm Marcia Kramer, originally from Brooklyn with 2 regrettable decades in Los Angeles. I just moved back to New York after a divorce. Sorry if I'm
Where?
there she is. Sorry if I'm oversharing. You'll notice that I tend to do that. And found that I was turning into that kind of woman I always detested, a lady who lunches, basically. Benji appreciates her humor, and David notices. Ready, Marcia?
My mother was a survivor of the camps and literally never spoke about it. After she died, I kicked myself for never pushing her to tell me about her life. So I'm here to see where she was from, to honor her, and to stop kicking myself.
Thank you for sharing that, Marcia. And you should all feel free to over or undershare as much as you feel comfortable. Who's next?
Diane and Mark
Uh,
Bender in their 60s.
Hi, Diane and Mark Bender.
Hello.
We're boring. Recently retired from Shaker Heights. Mark's family was from here, down in Loveland, but left way before the war, turn of the century.
We were Mayflower Jews. It was always my little joke.
Some chuckles.
And we were always interested in seeing where they lived, what this place looked like. My family was French. We were French Jews. And Mark and I have already been to Paris. So this was our next trip.
Yeah, not as glamorous, my side of the family. Sorry about that.
Hitters from the group. Eloge speaks up. He's a 39-year-old Rwandan man.
Hi, I'm Eloge. As you might have guessed, I was not born Jewish.
A little titter from the group.
I guess you won't be the only one on this trip, James.
Happy for the company, Eloge.
But I did convert to Judaism about 10 years ago. I'm actually African-born, Rwandan.
This is fucking music to Benji's ears.
And to answer the inevitable question that you might be thinking, I'm a survivor of the genocide.
Oh, shit.
They turn to Benji.
No, I mean it in a good way. Like, shit, wow. Like, I'm just interested in people from other places. I'm sorry. I'm just like a fan. Keep going, man.
There's an awkward pause. David is mortified.
I'm sorry about that.
No, please. It's actually very refreshing. I'm happy when anyone is interested in my country. Like most places, it's more complicated than the world gives it credit for. What's your name?
Benji.
Benji. I am an open book.
David can't believe Benji gets away with this shit.
Anyway, I do have a unique story. My mother and I survived the war, and I moved to Winnipeg with her life savings sewn into the inside of my jacket.
Jesus fuck.
And in Winnipeg, I was helped by the Phoenician, a Jewish family.
Naturally.
A little laughter from the group. Benji is charming them.
Yeah, naturally, Benji. And when I learned about Judaism and the story of the Jewish people, I felt at peace for the first time since the war. And the more I learn about the religion, and the more of the people I meet, lovely people such as yourselves, the more I know I made the right decision.
The group is stunned.
I didn't think I would be crying before the tour even started.
Everyone laughs and the tension breaks.
Wow. Well, this is a first. Thank you so much, ELOGE.
There's a nice pause.
Wow. Who the hell wants to follow that? Okay, shit, I'll go. So, Davers and I are cousins, actually born 3 weeks apart, which is kind of nuts. A Zloty for anyone who guesses which one of us is older. Anyway, our dads are brothers. We're basically brothers too, right, D? We used to be joined at the hip. Like, like fucking Katie and like it's Katie and Eilish. Isn't that fucking right, Davo?
Oh, Jesus, man, don't say that.
Anyway, our grandma, Dory, was from here. She survived the war in the craziest fucking way, in basements hidden among the uncircumcised.
Yeah, and everyone else died. Her parents, her sisters, a brother.
It was fucked. Essentially, it, it was, it was. And we've always wanted to come here to see where she was from, see the house she grew up in.
Yeah, that's why we're leaving the tour a day early. Benji insisted we see her little town. They were super close.
She was the coolest. Just this fierce, no bullshit, fucking take charge chick.
David looks around. Everyone's nodding, seemingly okay with Benji's vulgarity.
And I've been in a kind of funk since she died.
So sorry, Benji.
Yo, thank you, Marcia. You're a sweetheart. And things have been kind of downhill for me. She was my favorite person in the world. Shit, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, Benji. It's good to remember. That's what we're here for.
Thanks, James.
Of course.
So, just to keep things on track, Grandma Dory left some money in her will for me and Benji to come here.
And Dave could never find the time because he's got a high pressure job selling ad banners to the internet.
Yo, come on, man.
But I've been in such a shit place recently. So Dave swooped in, took some time off, and arranged for us to join this geriatric Polish tour with you fine people.
Everyone kind of chuckles, and Benji puts his hand on David's shoulders. David sinks in his chair a bit.
You know, she didn't ask any of the other cousins to come here, just us.
That's really lovely.
Yeah, she knew the two of us have a special connection. Right, David Cakes?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what she knew. At the end, she was getting a little senile.
No, she knew. She knew.
Cue Chopin's bombastic etude. Exterior Warsaw montage. A flurry of buildings and streets, signs, daily life, and this bustling city set to Chopin's racing etude. Exterior Warsaw Ghetto Uprising Monument Day. Greco-Roman heroes stare at us from the iconic Warsaw Ghetto Uprising Monument. Close-out shots of the various faces of martyrdom. Benji and David look up at the faces. James gathers the group near the front of the foot of the monument.
If I can gather everyone over here, thank you. I always like to start our tour at the Ghetto Uprising Memorial. It's a monument to the Jewish heroes who fought back. In 2 days, we'll be visiting a concentration camp. So I think it's important to immediately dispel the precocious myth that these were people led like lambs to the slaughter.
The group nods sagely. Benji and David share a look.
My computer screwed up and took me off the page.
We're middle of 24.
Thank you. Sorry about that. This is going to be a tour about pain, of course. Pain and suffering and loss, to be sure. But it must also be a tour that celebrates a people, a most resilient people.
Cue Nocturne 9-3. I don't know how to say that, guys. I'm sorry. Exterior Warsaw Street Day. The group walks along street in front of a Soviet-era apartment block. Exterior Warsaw Street Day. Through a window, we see Benji buying bottles of water in a little market kiosk. He exits the kiosk and distributes the waters to the group. They are thankful. He arrives As he arrives at David, he explains that he wasn't able to pay for the waters because he doesn't have any money. David sighs, hands him some zliots. Is that how you say it? Zlotys. There we go. That's what it is. Hands him some zlotys, and Benji bounds back to pay. Exterior, a Krasinski Garden day. The gang walks through the peaceful park. Mark and Diane are asking James questions, and ELOGE is cross-referencing what he sees with a little Polish guidebook. Marcia walks alone. Benji and David lag behind. David is sweaty, exhausted. Benji is amped.
Look at this shit. We'd probably live here if the war didn't happen. Isn't that fucking crazy to think about?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
No, no, seriously. Like we think of ourselves as these very American creations, you know? And I guess we are. I guess that's like the essence of America, people created from other cultures. But in some parallel fucking black hole universe, you and I are Polish and we probably got like beards and shit, and we like can't shake hands with women.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever I see a Hasidic guy on the street, I always just think, there but for the grace of no
What?
God.
Wait, what?
Oh, it's just like a dumb joke.
That's cool, man. Yo, shit, look at her.
Oh, what? Who?
That woman, Marcia. She's walking alone. We should go walk with her.
You just met her.
Yeah, but she's got this like deep sadness behind her eyes.
She does?
You didn't notice that?
During the introductions. I don't know.
We should go check on her.
Benji, maybe she wants to be alone.
No one wants to be alone, Dave. Come on. I'm gonna go check it out.
Benji runs off to check on Marcia. David is left alone, a little miffed. He watches as Benji catches up to Marcia. They are speaking animatedly to each other, and Marcia seems emotional. David speeds up to join them, but stutters when he hears.
People will eat you live if you give them a fucking inch.
David watches as Benji knowingly puts his hand on Marcia's shoulder. Then Marcia reaches up and holds Benji's hand. David is baffled. Benji and Marcia walk like this for a bit. She clearly had some kind of catharsis, and Benji is comforting her. Exterior, Wallakow Street, day. The group walks through the ruins of Warsaw, but which about the height of Central European modernity. Modernity. Sorry.
Modernity.
Sorry. I'm struggling tonight, guys. I'm sorry. We see the mix of old and new, the bullet holes in the mid-century rebuild. Exterior plaque Gabrowski Day. Benji precariously skips along the stones, which out of a pond. Jump back to reveal that the group is patiently waiting for him to finish his antics. No one seems to mind. Exterior plaque Gabrowski Cafe Day. David exits the cafe with a tray of food. Feeling unsocial, he takes a seat alone. After a moment, Benji comes out and spots David.
Yo,
10 minutes later, Benji and David sit across from each other, eating rye soup.
What was going on with that woman?
what do you mean?
The woman with the sadness in her eyes. Is she all right?
Oh, Marcia. Yeah, she's in a really weird place right now.
She told you that?
Yeah, I guess she thinks I can relate since we both lost people.
You mean our grandma?
Yeah. Anyway, she's super fucking stressed right now because her husband left her last May, like completely out of the blue.
Jesus.
Yeah, not fun.
No. And she just told you all this?
Yeah. And now she's seeing this new guy, Darren, which you'd think she'd be happy about, but he sounds like a complete douchebag.
Oh, really? How?
I don't know, man. I don't think we should be talking about her behind her back. Hmm?
Oh, okay. I was just asking.
No, I know. Still, right?
There's an uncomfortable pause, and they both slurp their soup.
Weird soup, right?
I love it.
Cue Chopin's Waltz. Exterior, Credtalia Street, day. From high, we see a group walk through this bohemian drag. Exterior, another Polish street, day. The group passes a fragment of the old ghetto wall. Exterior, Warsaw Uprising Monument, day. The group approaches a dramatic Warsaw Uprising monument, massive bronze soldiers in battle positions.
Can you tell me what page again? I apologize. My computer like keeps screwing it up.
29. About a little less than halfway.
No problem. Okay, there we go. It like brings me to 29. Okay. This monument truly speaks to the tragic complexity of Polish history. The Warsaw Uprising was perhaps more tragic in the Russian response to the uprising than the German crushing of the rebellion.
BENJI and David listening.
These two supposed allies, brothers against a common enemy, but infighting and spite tore them apart.
Back to James.
You see, Stalin resented the resistance as they'd fought him for independence, and so he stood back, letting Germany crush the resistance in 63 short days. It's harrowing. Anyway, I'm sure you want to take pictures. It's a pretty spectacular sight. But please come to me with any questions. I'm all too happy to talk about the puzzle of Polish history.
Mark and Diane approach James with questions. The rest take pictures. BENJI approaches ELOGE.
Yo, Eloge, when you're done, could you take a picture of me and Dave posing with the guys?
Yes, of course.
What?
We should go pose with the guys. It'll be hysterical.
Really? Doesn't that seem like disrespectful?
How the fuck is that disrespectful? We're on their side, fighting the Ruskies and the Krauts.
Yeah, I don't know if we should.
Okay, okay. Then just take a picture of me fighting with my Polish brethren. Gentlemen, I'm going in.
BENJI salutes and runs to the monument. He positions himself cutely among the huge bronze soldiers.
You look great, BENJI. I got some good shots.
Yeah? Does it look real?
Well, they're twice the size of you in metal.
I know. I need some backup. Come on. Come on up here with me, dude. Come on.
BENJI, no, really, please.
Alosh, you gonna enlist?
I'm not a fighter, BENJI. Thank you.
Okay, well, you can be a medic or something. Come on up. It'll be funny. Your mom will love the pictures.
ELOGE looks at David.
This is so silly.
Yeah, I know.
Can you take a picture of me?
Oh, really? Sure, I guess so.
ELOGE joins BENJI under the monument.
Okay, so you're the medic. Maybe you just jumped out of the copter and you got fucking first aid kit and you're patching up this guy's leg here.
ELOGE laughs and kneels next to one of the bronze soldiers patching up his leg.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he's got gangrene. Holy shit, it's fucking oozing.
Don't worry. I have prepared for this moment.
Of course you have. We got a young Florrie Nightingale over here. David, you getting all this?
David is taking pictures of both guys' phones.
Yeah, I got it.
Is it funny?
It's funny, yeah.
You sure you don't want to come up here? We could use the manpower.
No, I'm good. I'll just watch from Central Command.
That's a good one, Dave. Central Command. Love it.
Suddenly, Mark appears at the monument, posing next to BENJI and ELOGE.
Men, can I join up?
You bet, Marky Mark.
Diane, you getting this?
Hey, we got another man. We're going to take this hill.
David takes pictures. He enjoys seeing BENJI so happy, but is also looking over his shoulder for security.
Jesus, this is a real fucking sausage party. Marcia, come on up here.
I don't know.
Oh, Marcia, your country needs you.
You're very persuasive, BENJI.
I know. Give your phone to Davey. He's a great photographer.
Marcia gives her phone to David and heads up to the monument.
You want to work with ELOGE on this dude's leg?
No, I'm a fighter. Give me a gun.
Look at you.
Marcia pretends to be a soldier, finding it funny and awkward. David is now taking pictures with 3 people's phones.
Okay, we got these fucking Nazis right here, right where we want them. We need all hands on deck. Diane, James, come on. Dave will take the pictures. It'll be hysterical.
Diane brings her phone over to David.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Thank you, David.
Sure.
Diane runs up next to her husband. James approaches David with his phone.
You sure you don't want to go up?
Yeah, I'm great. I got some good shots earlier when it was empty, so
Oh, I feel bad. This is your tour.
Timothy, we need a gunner from the RAF.
I'm coming. And you really don't mind taking a picture?
no, it's fine.
James hands David his phone and joins the group. Now everyone is posing on the monument except David, who has to take pictures with 5 cameras.
Okay, everyone, pick a pose, freeze in it, so Dave could take a picture. Is that cool with you, Dave?
Yep.
They all freeze as David takes a picture on each phone. It's awkward for him as he puts the phones into his pocket to make sure he gets a shot on each one. You almost done. Oh, sorry.
You almost done, Dave? My arms are getting tired.
Yeah, I got it.
David takes a shot with his last phone.
Okay, men, stand down.
They all kind of laugh and walk off the monument.
You were all incredibly brave. Unfortunately, we lost the war big time.
They all laugh as BENJI approaches David.
Thank you so much, dude. That was so fucking fun.
Exterior Warsaw Hotel night. The group enters the hotel, the nice energy from the day lingering in the air. David feels a bit left out. Interior Warsaw Hotel elevator night. David and BENJI ride up the elevator with ELOGE, Diane, and Mark. It stops on BENJI and David's floor.
Yep, this is us. Good night, you freaks. Long day tomorrow.
They ad-lib good nights to BENJI. Exterior Warsaw Hotel hallway night. The boys walk down the hall towards the room. Interior Warsaw Hotel night. David and BENJI enter their room.
Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
come in the bathroom with me for a sec.
What? Why?
Interior Warsaw Hotel bathroom night. David squeezes into the cramped bathroom. BENJI closes the door.
Why are we in here?
Just want to thank you so much for doing this with me. I know it was tough for you to take off work, leave your little boy, but I didn't realize how much I needed this.
Well, that's great, man. I'm happy to see you happy. I know it's been a tough few months.
And I also wanted to say that I know you're not the most comfortable person with groups and people and social shit like that, you know?
I'm not?
No. So it's amazing that you're here and putting yourself out there so boldly for me.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
good. Well, let's get back out there. Share a J.
Interior Warsaw Hotel room night. BENJI exits the bathroom, walks straight to the window, and opens it, but it only goes a few inches.
Yo, look at this fucking infantilizing corporate bullshit.
What do you mean?
We can't smoke this shit with this shit open 2 inches.
Yo, I think I might just want to crash, man. We've been up for like 24 hours.
Don't say you're going to sleep on me, Davy. This is our first night together in fucking years.
I don't know. I'm exhausted and I haven't showered.
Yo, the weed will help you sleep mad.
Is it the kind that helps you sleep?
No, it's the other kind. Listen, you take a shower, do whatever you gotta do to feel like you, and I'll roll us a fat ass blunt and we'll go on the roof.
Interior Warsaw Hotel elevator night. David, freshly dressed, and BENJI, fat ass blunt in his ear, ride the elevator. There's a fun spirit in the air. Interior Warsaw Hotel hallway top floor night. The boys exit the elevator.
I don't know what that means, but okay, which way are you?
Uh, Maybe they don't make the roof accessible for American assholes trying to smoke weed.
But BENJI is already walking down the hallway. At the end of the hallway is a door with a sign in Polish and an alarm.
This is it.
I think there's a big fucking alarm that's gonna go off.
So if it does, we just say we don't speak Polish, which is true.
David's backing away.
BENJI, let's just go back.
Okay. I guess you're right, Dave.
BENJI walks with David and then suddenly turns back and runs towards the door, slamming it open.
BENJI!
There's no alarm. It's quiet, and David is relieved. BENJI looks at David with electricity in his eyes.
Après-vous.
Interior Warsaw Hotel stairwell, night. The boys giggle as they race up the stairwell. BENJI opens the door to the roof. Exterior Warsaw Hotel roof, night. The boys are at the edge of the roof, which overlooks Warsaw. It's gorgeous. BENJI exhales a huge hit, passes it to David, who takes a hit and passes it back.
There's my guy. How you feeling, dude?
I'm okay.
Yo, how you feeling, dude?
I feel good. I feel good.
See? You just need a little drugs in your system.
Oh, yeah? That's all I was missing?
Yeah. You're like an awesome guy stuck inside the body of someone who's always running late. And I gotta finish that awesome guy out every time I see you.
Thank you, I guess.
When I think of us walking around New York all night, seeing if we could make it through till morning.
You always did.
You always fall asleep halfway through. We'd make it over to Willie B and you'd conk out on a bench in Chinatown.
I know.
You were kind of a lightweight.
I'm sorry.
I'd have to stay up and keep watch.
Oh,
Make sure you weren't pecked to death by pigeons.
David laughs, but the mood has shifted a bit sour. David looks at BENJI, and BENJI exhales a huge puff. Interior Warsaw Hotel elevator night. The boys ride back down the elevator in silence. Interior Warsaw Hotel room night. The boys lie on their separate beds. They're eating chips from the minibar, and BENJI is nursing a bottle of vodka. The TV is playing the cheesy motel menu on a loop. They stare at it, stoned and mesmerized.
Dave,
yo,
Pause.
sorry I called you a lightweight.
it's okay. I'm sorry I would always fall asleep.
It's okay. You had like a job and a wife. You were awake all day doing important shit.
Yeah, I guess.
You're not a lightweight.
Thanks, Benji.
You're the only person who ever tried to stay up with me.
BENJI takes a swig of vodka and becomes very contemplative.
I always wanted to hang out at night when everyone else was gone. Have the city to ourselves. I could never get anybody to come with me.
They eat their chips in silence.
I didn't care that you fell asleep. I was just happy you were there.
David nods, touched. Q. Chopin's Nocturne, 15:1. Interior Warsaw Hotel room morning. David wakes up. He looks over to the bed. BENJI is still sleeping. A few more mini vodka bottles lie around his head. Interior Warsaw Hotel bathroom morning. David is in the bathroom whispering on FaceTime with Priya. She's telling him a story about Abe and he's laughing. David's in the shower shaving. David swallows one of his pills, drinking from the faucet. Interior Warsaw Hotel room morning. David re-enters the room, freshly showered. BENJI is still sleeping. David stands over his cousin, looking at him. In his sleep, BENJI has a pained look on his face.
Benji. Benji, dude, we gotta go. Train's in an hour. Everyone's downstairs.
BENJI groans. Interior Warsaw Hotel hallway morning. BENJI reluctantly trudging through the hall, following David. Exterior Warsaw Hotel morning. The group is waiting outside for the boys.
Hey guys, sorry we're a little late.
BENJI perks up when he sees everyone, his erratic charisma suddenly alighting.
Dave literally woke me up 2 minutes ago.
Interior Warsaw train station day. The group walks through the train station. BENJI takes it all in like a little kid. Interior Warsaw train station platform day. The group approaches the train. James leads them to the front.
Luckily, included in your trophy, we all get first class seats. Not too bad, huh?
Ooh, fancy.
Love the exchange rate.
As they board the train, David looks happy. BENJI looks skeptical. Exterior train day. Moving southeast through the central Poland's countryside. Interior train day. The group rides in a sparsely filled first-class car. They each have a nice breakfast meal on trays in front of them and are eating their food as they listen to James.
And if we have time, I think Underground Lublin is a fascinating, if overhyped destination. But the real heart of the city is the Grodzki Gate.
As James continues, BENJI turns and whispers to David.
Yo, dude, I think we should move.
What?
I think we should move to a different train car.
What do you mean?
Don't you feel weird being in a first class car?
No, we paid for it. It's not hurting anybody.
Dude, we are Jews on a train in Poland. Think about it.
James notices BENJI.
Benji, is everything okay?
Yes, it's fine. We're fine. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jay.
Of course. No worries. So as I was saying, the lantern was not
BENJI can't help himself. He addresses the group.
I I just feel like is no one else feeling this?
Pause.
Feeling what?
Just the creepy feeling of being like royalty on this train, you know? Does anyone not see the irony here?
Benji, please.
Like eating this fancy food, sitting up here when 80 years ago we would have had been herded in the backs of these things like fucking cattle.
Oh, come on, Benji, stop that.
Yeah, I don't think everyone wants to hear that
Well, why not?
because it's depressing.
No, it's okay. If I may, Benji raises an interesting sensitivity. People often have the experience coming here on these tours, staying in nice hotels, eating nice food, while exploring the horrors of their families' lives.
The group takes this in. Benji nods, feeling validated.
There's certainly feelings of discomfort and even a kind of guilt of comparing their lives to those who,
I don't feel guilt.
nor should you.
Why would I feel guilt?
I'm not suggesting you should, Mark.
Benji is reactivated.
Because our lives are so fucking pampered and privileged. Like we completely cut ourselves off from anyone else's true pain. Like the actual experience of being shoved into a train car, your fucking head bashed in.
So what are we supposed to do about that?
Mark, please.
I don't know. Acknowledge it, maybe. Try to feel it in some way.
Benji, why are you doing this?
I'm just saying how I feel, Dave.
And why is that important now?
Some titters from the group.
You used to feel everything. He was such an adorable, anxious kid.
Benji, Jesus.
We went to Jewish sleepaway camp together, and he cried the whole first week because he was homesick, literally the whole week.
Benji, what the fuck?
And I would have to hug him to sleep and talk to his sweet fucking mom to calm him down. And now look at him, comfortable, buttoned up, top of areas of his wild ass Jew fro into submission.
Benji,
It's all mad impressive.
The group is mildly appalled.
You're all mad impressive. But I think I'm gonna move to the back of the train.
I don't think you'll find much suffering back there either.
Stop it.
Benji, deflated, walks away. David turns back and watches him go, mystified by his behavior.
I'm sorry if that was uncomfortable for anyone. These triggers certainly do arise anywhere. Anywhere. Usually not on a moving train. But
Some laughter from the group.
hey, James, I should probably go back there. At least bring him his food.
of course, of course. You know where to get off.
Yeah, Lublin Glauni. I must be mispronouncing it.
Don't worry, you're very close. It's the next stop.
David picks up Benji's food tray and heads back. Interior train car, day. David is walking through more crowded part of the train, looking for Benji, when he doesn't see him. Interior second train car, day. David enters the next cab car. Halfway down, he sees Benji sitting alone. David sits next to him. It's quiet and sweet moment.
Hey, man.
David undoes Benji's tray and sets down his food.
Thanks.
Are you okay?
Everyone just wants to have a fucking joyride, you know?
What do you mean?
People can't just walk around the world being happy all the time.
It's okay, man.
Benji digs into his food. David leans back, tired. Exterior Poland countryside, day. The train speeds past us in various locations. Interior train, day. Moving down the aisle, we find David fast asleep in his seat. Benji just watching him. The train pulls into a station and David startles awake.
Hey, man.
Did I fall asleep?
Yeah, you did.
All right. Well, let's go. Come on.
David grabs his bag and heads for the exit. Benji follows, looking guilty. Exterior Kranzik platform, day. The boys emerge onto the platform and begin walking towards the exit. Behind them, the train pulls away. David looks around the platform.
I guess everyone's waiting outside for us.
Hey, Dave,
Yeah?
we're not at the right train station.
What do you mean?
David looks around and sees a large station sign that says Kranzik.
Oh, shit. What the fuck is Kramsnik? We're supposed to get off at Lublin.
Yeah, you were pretty fucking out cold. Pretty fucking cold time.
You mean we passed Lublin already?
A while ago.
And you didn't wake me up?
We're getting such a good nap, dude.
Jesus,
Dave, you were drooling and snoring everything. I couldn't bring myself to wake
you have like the most fucked up sense of priorities.
David begins walking towards the station exit. Benji hustles up.
you. Dave, come on. Don't be mad at me.
How could I not be mad at you?
Because I was staring at you sleeping and you were snoring so weirdly and loudly, and everyone was looking, and some people were laughing. And I was just thinking, this is my cousin Davy. I'm not ashamed of him. This is Davy on the bench in Chinatown. This is the cousin I used to have all to myself.
David softens and turns back around.
All right. So what do we do now?
Oh, I already worked all that shit out.
Did you?
Yeah, while you were sleeping.
Great. What do you got?
Lublin was the last stop, right? So we hop onto the train on the other side of the platform, going in the opposite direction, and that'll take us back to Lublin. Just email James and tell him we got a little sidetracked.
Oh, okay.
We don't even need to get tickets.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're only trying to go on one stop, right? We just gotta avoid the conductor till we get there. I do shit like this all the time upstate. It's fucking foolproof. All right, here we go.
Moments later, the boys sprint around the train on the opposite platform. A conductor is near the car at the front.
We should just buy tickets like normal people.
No time. Come on.
The boys run down the platform and enter the back of the train. Benji nods to David like they're preparing for a bank heist as they hop on. Interior train day. The boys move through the train, heading towards the front.
We stay moving. We stay light. We stay agile. He's going to be coming through that train, taking tickets. We pass him probably somewhere around the middle of the train, and we tell him we're going to go into the bathroom. Then he's going to get to the back of the train and start heading back up toward the front, looking for stragglers.
Where are the stragglers?
Yes. And by the time he gets to the front, the train will be in the station and we'll be home free.
This is so fucking stupid.
No, what's so stupid is the corporatization of travel, ensuring the rich move around the world to propagate their elitist lions while the poor stay cut off from society.
That's good. We can argue Marxism when they're hauling us off to Siberia.
Siberia's in Russia, Dave.
They enter the next car.
This is ridiculous. Tickets are probably $12.
It's the principle of the thing. We shouldn't have to pay for train tickets in Poland. This is our country.
No, it's not. It was our country. They kicked us out because they thought we were cheap.
The boys enter the next car. David is increasingly nervous. They see the conductor enter from the other side. Tickets? Have your tickets ready?
Yeah, buddy. Stay calm. Natural.
They approach the conductor.
Hi. Just bathroom. Me and cousin. Go to just bathroom. Thank you.
Bathroom's on the other side.
With thanks. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
The boys exit the car and catch their breath in the vestibule.
Jesus, my heart's in my fucking throat.
Feels good, doesn't it? But we're not out of the woods yet. We get to the front and take shelter till we get to our stop.
As the boys make their way through the car, something loosens inside David. We move past Benji and closer on David as a nostalgic smile grows on his face. Interior front car, day. The boys enter the front car and find seats. They plop down, ecstatic.
We made it.
Yeah, don't fall asleep on me again, brother.
I won't. Hey, Benji,
Yeah?
we're in first class.
Benji looks around and thinks about it.
Yeah. You fucking earned it.
Exterior Lublin Station day. The train pulls into the Lublin Glowney station. The boys walk along the platform looking for the exit. Exterior Lublin Station day. The boys emerge to find James and the group in various stages of irritation.
Hey, everybody. I'm super sorry we're late. Dave fell asleep.
Exterior stairs to castle day. The group ascends in the massive staircase that leads to the castle.
I want today to be as vibrant as it is melancholic. Lublin has such a rich Jewish history. It was actually called the Jewish Oxford. It was diverse, intellectually and culturally. It was progressive, open, welcoming, and it's hard to say whether the Jewish community was attracted to Lublin for these reasons, or if the Jewish community was responsible for these local virtues. It's probably a little of both. but I want today to feel enlightening, to understand the scope and importance of Jewish contributions. This is the Lublin of Rebbe Horowitz, the seer of Lublin, of Isaac Bashevis, singer of poets, writers, merchants, intellectuals.
Exterior bridge from Zamkawa Street. Day. The group walks along the gorgeous bridge to the gate. David approaches ELOGE.
So you're like really religious?
Yes, I am, David.
That's amazing to me.
Is it?
Yeah, you do all the customs?
Not all, but I do keep Shabbat. I'm meditative. It gives me a chance to unwind, to refocus. And you?
No, the whole thing always seemed like a little archaic and arbitrary and mechanical to me. No offense.
None taken. But I think it would really benefit you.
You mean like benefit everyone or like me specifically?
You specifically.
Up ahead, Marcia approaches BENJI. David looks on.
BENJI.
Yo,
Yo.
They walk a little bit and they like each other's company.
I wanted to say that I've been thinking about what you said on the train about understanding suffering. It really stirred me.
yo. Seriously, Marcia?
Yes.
Dope.
Last year, my daughter married a very rich man,
Oh, fuck.
and she can barely have a conversation with any depth anymore. She's lost any perspective on the real world.
Of course she has. Money's like fucking heroin for boring people.
Well, I don't know what that means, but it's so easy to float through life, forgetting how lucky we are.
Exactly.
See, Benji, look at that. You're an inspiration.
Marcia side-eyes David as ELOGE approaches.
Hi, yes, I'm eavesdropping. Is that okay?
Poor Solosh. Come on in.
ELOGE sidles up, David getting sidelined.
I want to echo what Marcia said, if that's all right.
Really?
Really?
Yes, of course. I find myself constantly baffled by the way the world seems to carry on. Like there aren't a million reasons to mourn, to be shocked, to be appalled.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
David can't believe BENJI is getting this reaction. He reinserts himself.
I don't know. If we wept for every sad thing in the world, what would that accomplish?
Maybe sad shit wouldn't constantly happen.
Exactly. David, we numb ourselves to avoid thinking about the impact we have.
Ignoring the proverbial slaughterhouse to enjoy the steak, as it were.
Yes, Eloge. Damn, that's a good analogy, dude.
And I get all that. It just seems like there's a time and a place for grieving, and maybe it's
Dave, we're on a fucking Holocaust tour. If now isn't the time and place to grieve, to open up, then I don't know what to tell you, my man.
BENJI walks on and his new minions, ELOGE and Marcia. David slows down, contemplating. They approach the central gate.
If I can get everyone's attention, this is the famous Skrodsky Gate, or as it was once known, the Jewish Gate. On the other side of this gate was the Jewish Quarter. As we walk through, I want you to try to imagine what life must have been like here hundreds of years ago. The parking lots, the hair salons, the recently paved roads used to be Jewish houses, synagogues, shops. Try to avoid conjuring images of the horrors to come, and just imagine a vibrant city.
On David and BENJI passing through the light patches of the dark tunnel.
Try to imagine what could have been the promise, the hope.
The group passes through the tunnel, emerging into the light. Exterior Lublin montage, Nocturne 9-2, plays over the following.
The memories of Jewish life are here, but they're hidden around this city, moments trapped in amber. There aren't monuments or statues. The only synagogue is a now defunct second-floor office building. But there are little moments of history frozen in time, peeking out, waiting for us, emblems of a people, of stories, of contributions.
As he speaks, we see a montage of shots from around the city. An unremarkable grocery store with a plaque above the door.
A former Yiddish theater.
A medical academy building, the site of a former yeshiva.
A former yeshiva.
Hebrew letters in relief on the side of the building.
A former Hebrew printing house.
Exterior gravel street afternoon. In a wide tableau, the group ambles along the uneven path at the edge of town. Benji throws his arm around David and pinches his cheek. Exterior cemetery, dusk. At the top of the hill is a Jewish cemetery, a rough patch of land with scattered tombstones. The group naturally fans out, taking it all in. Eloge lingers around James.
So there's a bit of a discrepancy, but the founding of the cemetery, but most have found pegged it at 1541. Think about that. Before the founding of the United States, before Shakespeare, before the locomotive. And if I may, the oldest tombstone in all of Poland is actually here.
Ah, yes. Kopelman, right?
Ding, ding, ding. That's right, Eloge.
I read about it this morning. Don't be too impressed.
He's actually buried right back here. It's rather unremarkable if you don't know the history.
As James and Eloge continue, Benji rolls his eyes at David. David responds with a quizzical expression, like, "What's wrong?" Benji claps one hand together and motions towards James, as if to say James won't shut the fuck up. David looks at Benji like, "Who the fuck cares?" Benji responds with an expression like, "I fucking care." Benji starts heading over to James. David knows it's not good.
Hey, James, Eloge.
Oh shit.
Yo, James,
Benji,
Yes, Benji.
you're like completely knowledgeable about all this shit, and it's mad impressive. And we all know that now,
Benji, stop it.
but like, these are real people. These are not little factoids lying under here, okay? They're not history lessons.
Benji, calm down.
Love, Davy.
I'm sorry, Benji. Did I say something to upset you?
I mean, you know your shit, don't you? Don't get me wrong. And Loge, you totally know your shit, which is doubly impressive. But it's just like the constant barrage of stats. It's kind of making this trip a little cold, you know?
Eloge looks down at the ground, embarrassed.
I'm sorry. It's the Brit in me.
And like part of the problem, if we're being honest right now with the tour, is that we've been cut off from anything real.
Excuse me?
Benji, what the hell?
Don't take this the wrong way or anything, but we've just been going from one touristy thing to another, not meeting anyone who's actually Polish.
Benji, I'm sorry to say this, but that's kind of what these tours are. You signed up for this tour.
Dave signed up for the tour.
James is incredibly uncomfortable. He looks to David, who is mortified. After a pause, Benji releases the tension.
And it's a mostly amazing tour. Jimbo, like really, I'm loving it. And it's totally Dave's speed, but maybe just chill with the facts and figures for a little bit. Is that cool?
Yes, so we could certainly tone it down for a bit, sure. In fact, I was going to suggest that we all place a small rock or pebble on Mr. Kopelman's stone.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, E.
Of course.
Yes.
James, still rattled, calls the group over to Kopelman.
Um, if I can get everyone to join me over here. This stone here is thought to be the oldest tombstone in Poland. It's a man called Jacob Kopelman Levy, who was a real Polish person from Poland.
James and Benji exchange look. Benji nods a little, like, "You can continue."
And Benji had a wonderful idea of taking a moment of silence and placing a rock on Mr. Kopelman's grave. There are many theories as to why Jews follow this tradition, why they place stones on graves, but I like to think it's done to say, you are not forgotten.
There's a sweet pause.
It's great, James.
Thank you, Benji. So let's find some nice stones, shall we?
I think that's a lovely idea.
Thanks, Marcia.
The group begins looking for pebbles on the ground. David finds two and offers one to Benji.
You want this one?
No, it's too small.
Okay.
But you could totally use it.
Benji finds two stones. He approaches Marcia.
Yo, did you find one, Marcia?
I did not, Benji.
Take one of mine.
That's very kind. Thank you.
David notices their interaction. He feels irked by Benji. David looks back to James and tries to apologize for Benji with his eyes, and James waves him off, like, don't worry about it. The group ends up forming a little line at Kopelman's grave. Mark and Diane place their stones down, followed by Eloge, James, and David. It's all very somber and sweet. Marcia and Benji approach. Marcia places her stone down first. David, Eloge, and James watch as Benji jokes around with Marcia.
You're gonna put it there?
Is there something wrong with where I'm putting it?
Everyone knows it's sacrilege to put a rock on the north side of the grave.
Well, that's fine because I'm an atheist.
Ooh, damn, girl.
David shares looks with Eloge and James. They're all pissed that Benji is allowed to change the mood whenever it suits him. As we pull back on the group on the hill, the sun is nearly setting and the music comes up. It's piano, but for the first time, it's not Chopin. In fact, it sounds like a moody version of Have a Nagila. It carries us into exterior restaurant night. Establish a lively restaurant in Old Town Loveland. Interior restaurant night. A pianist plays with the familiar Have a Nagila. If I'm saying this wrong, please forgive me or correct me. We move off the pianist to find our group settling with this cozy old-style restaurant. They are through dinner, slipping drinks. The mood feels light, except Benji, who's stewing.
And my father's brother was the real brains of the family. He was rejected from medical school because of quotas, on Jewish doctors or what have you. I'm sorry, I'm just having trouble competing with Ava Nagila.
Yes, we stop here on every tour. The food is wonderful, but the music can be a little kitschy.
Anti-Semitic pricks.
Well, I don't know if it's anti-Semitic. The owners are Jewish, but I do think they tried to create a kind of authentic atmosphere.
Yeah, it's totally authentic to essentialize a 5,000-year-old history with a jappy bar mitzvah song. Please continue, Marcia.
I'll try. So, my Uncle Sam couldn't go to medical school, so he became a pharmacist, the next best thing in his mind. And he ended up owning 5 pharmacies in and around Chicago. And we're talking big places with soda fountains and the whole thing. And he started what we now think of as a modern drugstore with food and electronics.
The group ad-libs, impressed with Marcia's story, and the piano player finishes his song.
Ah, now the song's over, just as I'm done. My usual good timing.
That story is amazing, Marcia. The ingenuity to create a pharmacy because he was barred from medical school speaks volumes about the immigrant experience.
I can attest to that. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. My great uncle came off the boat from Poland. Wa- uh, Landed in Galveston for some fakasta reason
They all chuckle a bit.
and made money by taking the furniture that rich people threw out on the street, refurbishing it, and reselling. True story.
And apparently, he ended up selling some of it back to the original owners.
And they all laugh.
Which people are fucking idiots.
There's a slight pause in the group as they're thrown off by Benji's crassness. David picks up the mood.
Well, our grandmother,
Grandma Dory.
yeah, Grandma Dory, whose house we're seeing on Thursday, was just amazing too.
Please regale us.
Yeah, she was just one of these bygone realist types you don't see anymore, blunt and tough. I was scared shitless of her my whole childhood.
I was never scared of her.
That's true. She and Benji had some special secret language. They both said what was on their minds.
No choice.
In a similar kind of story to you, Marcia, and to you, Diane, she survived the camps through 1,000 miracles and made her way to New York. She wanted to design dresses but couldn't afford fashion school, so she got stuck working as a secretary.
Yeah, but she was like, fuck this. She ended up taking over the whole company.
You're making it sound like she led a junta or something. She was just super smart. I mean, it was a small commercial real estate company.
I used to speak to her every Thursday, literally every Thursday.
That's nice, Benji. My kids call me once a month as a shock.
Oh, Marsha, I'm sorry. Fuck them. I wouldn't miss a week. She was tough on me. She was the only one in the whole fucking family who would keep me honest. Everyone else just disappeared when I needed them most.
There's a weird silence at the table because of his admission and because David is being implicated.
He sounds really special.
Benji nods to himself, and David stares at Benji, guilty and also irritated.
But Grandma never pitied herself. She said she was grateful for her struggle.
Well, that's just it. She had meaning in her life. Look what she endured. It gave her hope.
Exactly. She used to tell me that first generation immigrants work some menial job. They drive cabs, they deliver food, but they move their family up to the middle class. Then the second generation goes to good schools, good colleges. They become a lawyer or a doctor. And the third generation lives in their mother's basement and smokes pot all day.
David laughs a bit, but then realizes what he just said. The group is slightly alarmed as they realize that Grandma was talking about Benji.
Did that?
Um, she was just speaking generally.
She really said that.
I think she was just talking about the immigrant experience.
I lived in my mom's basement.
Yo, Benji, she was talking about immigrants, that's all.
Huh. I didn't think you ever bothered to call her, Dave.
The group is feeling weird. Dave is insulted. Eloge helps.
She sounds like a fascinating person.
The group ad-libs in agreement.
I think we should toast to her. James, what's the Polish word for toasting?
Ah, yes, Nadrowski, with characteristic consonant blending.
To Grandma Dory.
We all lift their glasses.
To Grandma Dory.
Yeah.
No, she.
Drove.
They all take a sip, except Benji, who stands up and chugs his entire glass of beer. The group looks on as Benji binges. He takes a long time, and it's awkward.
Well, I got to pee. I'll be back.
Benji walks away. There's a heavy feeling at the table.
I'm sorry about him.
What a troubled young man.
He wants to be good. You can see the spark. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, Eloge.
Forgive me if I don't see this magical spark.
Mark, stop it. He's tormented for whatever reason.
Exactly. And God, he's charming and funny underneath all the mishigas.
I feel bad for him.
Was he always like this?
Yes, he's always been like up and down. Like he's sensitive and he sees people so clearly, but then you say the wrong thing and something switches. Sorry, maybe it's not appropriate to talk about him.
It's not appropriate. Stop it. You obviously have a lot going on with each other, and he's clearly in pain.
I know, but isn't everyone in pain in some way? Look where we came from. Look at what happened. Look where we came from. Look at what happened to our families. Who isn't rot?
Well, you seem okay.
I'm not. That's the thing. I have shit going on. I do. But I take a pill for my fucking OCD. I jog. I meditate. I go to work and come home at the end of the day. I move forward because I know my pain is unexceptional. So I don't feel the need to burden everybody with it.
This lands with the group.
I'm sorry I'm ranting. I'm just so fucking exhausted by him sometimes. I love him and I hate him and I want to kill him and I want to be him. And I feel so lame around him because he's so fucking cool and doesn't give a shit. And then just being here with him is baffling because, like, how does this guy come from the survivors of this place? That's your uncle, that your uncle had to sell used furniture to rich assholes or got rejected from med school. That you survived this most horrific thing to happen on this planet in the last 30 years. That our grandmother survived when the whole world was trying to kill her. And I look at him and I just want to ask him. I just want to ask him, and I just can't. How could a person who's the product of 1,000 fucking miracles overdose on a bottle of sleeping pills?
The group is stunned.
What?
What did you say?
Yeah, he tried to. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything.
No, it's okay. David, I'm sorry.
How horrible.
My God, when did this happen?
Like 6 months ago, my aunt Leah, Benji's mom, Found him on the couch. I probably shouldn't have said anything. And I know he looks so charming and funny to you, and you're all gonna walk away with the impression of this amazing man, which he totally is in so many ways. But when I picture him, it's passed out on this ratty basement couch, and I'm in New York City with my nice wife and adorable child, and it's just fucking killing me.
David takes a sip of his beer.
I'm sorry, I'm oversharing.
The group digests this bombshell, but David feels a weight lifted. Suddenly, they hear the pianist again, but this time they're playing a jazz riff.
Jesus Christ, they're back again.
They listen to the music for a second until Marcia peers past David to see.
It's him.
David turns around and looks. A very drunk BENJI is sitting at the piano. He's riffing in a jazz standard. It's uncomplicated and but deft and fun. He has heart and some innate talent. David watches him.
Did you know he plays piano?
We used to take lessons together.
David watches BENJI plays. BENJI's eyes are closed and he is in a zone. David doesn't know how to take it, but he's moved. The group watches BENJI, a mixture of pity and awe. Interior restaurant night. BENJI is still playing, now flanked by Marcia and Diane. We pan along the restaurant to find Dave sitting alone as the other guys chat amongst themselves. David stands up and decides to leave. Exterior restaurant night. Dave emerges from the restaurant alone. He can faintly hear BENJI's music from inside the restaurant. As David begins walking back to the hotel, BENJI's music, 65B, becomes more insistent and grating, needling his way into David's subconscious. Interior Lublin Hotel entrance night. A bastardized version of BENJI's music continues. From inside the lobby, we see David enter the Lublin Hotel. Interior Lublin Hotel room night. David enters the room and the music in his head abruptly stops. He stands there in frustration for a minute. He walks to his bag and fishes out one of his pills. He dry swallows it. It gets caught in his throat and makes him choke a bit. He hits his throat, pissed and miserable. Later, it's dark. David is still alone in his room. He's calling Priya on FaceTime, but she's not picking up. That's 6:30. Do we need a potty break? Pause for a potty break for anybody? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll pause for a quick potty break. And then, so turn your cameras off, or whenever I see you come back on, we'll start when everybody's back on, okay? Okay. Middle of page 73. Interior Lublin Hotel room night. David enters the room and the music in his head abruptly stops as he stands there in frustration for a minute. Oh, I already read this. He walks to his bag, fishes out one of his pills, dry swallows it. It gets caught in his throat and makes him choke a bit. He hits his throat, pissed and miserable. Later, it's dark. David is still alone in his room. He's calling Priya on FaceTime, but she's not picking up. Later, David is on the bed. He takes off his socks and scoots back on the bed. He's looking at his bare feet, thinking. Interior Lublin hotel room night. It's the middle of the night. David is sleeping. He hears BENJI enter the room and he stirs awake. Not wanting to engage with BENJI, David lies very still. He hears BENJI rifle through some stuff and then leave the room. David is confused. He sits up and BENJI is gone. David looks at the clock. It's 2:40 a.m. Interior Lublin hallway day. David peeks his head around out the room and looks down the empty hallway. Fuck.
Fuck.
Oh, sorry. just, I'm just reading. Interior Lublin hotel room night. David is throwing on his clothes, irritated. Interior Lublin hallway, middle of the night. David is walking through the hallway looking for BENJI. Interior Lublin lobby, middle of the night. David is talking to the front desk, who hasn't seen BENJI. Interior Lublin hotel room, middle of the night. David is stewing in his bed, pissed and worried about BENJI. Interior Lublin hotel room, morning. David is sleeping, sitting up in bed. He's had a rough night. Suddenly, the room phone rings and he's startled awake.
Hello?
Dude, we're all downstairs waiting on you.
Interior Lublin Hotel elevator morning. David, now dressed, rides the elevator down. He's pissed. Interior Lublin lobby morning. David exits the elevator and walks to the lobby. BENJI is there, sitting with the group.
Morning, Davers. Your alarm clock didn't go off?
No, my phone died because I didn't plug it in because I spent the night looking for you. Where the fuck were you?
Dude, sorry. You were fast asleep when I left.
Well, you scared the shit out of me, BENJI.
Oh man, I am sorry. I was just hanging with Marcia. I didn't want to wake you up.
James approaches the group.
Morning, gang.
The group says good morning to James.
Everybody's down early. I love that. So the van just pulled up. It's an early short drive.
They exit the hotel and David warily eyeing his cousin. Interior van, day. The van drives out the outskirts of Lublin. James is facing back to address the group. David sits up front and BENJI sits in back.
About that, I was looking for a tissue. So, this is going to be a taxing day. If you've never been to a concentration camp, it can obviously be pretty overwhelming. But reactions fall along a broad spectrum, from numbing to complete distress and everything in between.
As James continues, David looks back to BENJI, who's staring out the window. David looks out the window and sees a massive concentration camp come into view. Exterior, Majdanek, is that how you say it? I should know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The bus pulls into the camp parking lot. It's eerily spark. Majdanek is essentially a preserved camp, unadorned with the museum style of other Holocaust sites. Well,
Well, it's weird to say it, but we're here.
exterior parking lot day. The group files off the van.
Majdanek is literally only 2 miles from the Lublin town square. Can you imagine? Life was continuing, a bustling city 2 miles from these grounds.
The group takes this in. The group walks towards the entrance and we get a full sense of the scope of this unnerving place. We push past them to see the massive town just beyond the barbed wire. Exterior entrance area, day. The group walks towards the barracks.
Before the Red Army entered Majdanek, the Nazis had taken nearly all of the prisoners to camps in the West. In their haste, the SS didn't destroy the evidence. So, unlike other camps, Majdanek is, well, preserved, for lack of a better phrase.
BENJI and David look around, cowed by the enormity of the place.
I might be a little sparser with my information overload today, but that doesn't mean I'm not more than eager to answer any questions you have. And I think you'll find, for better or for worse, this place speaks for itself.
The group traverses the endless path along the identically unnerving barracks. The following scenes play out simply. We might notice that BENJI and David begin on opposite sides of the group, but gradually and unconsciously draw closer together as the tour progresses. Interior barracks, day. The group approaches the exhibition barrack.
The barracks, built to fit 250 people, often housed 500 and sometimes even beyond 1,000.
Later, James reads a passage from a survivor. Interior undressing room, day. The group stands in the bare windowless room. The
undressing room.
Interior shower room, day. The group enters this dank, low-ceiling room.
The shower room.
Later, James reads another harrowing personal recount. Interior gas chamber, day. The group inside this considerably darker room.
The gas chamber.
The group looks around, silently, in various stages of nausea.
The blue stains on the walls are residue from Zyklon B.
BENJI unconsciously puts his hand on David's shoulder. Interior crematorium, day. The group looks up at the crematorium, body-sized ovens completely preserved. James doesn't say anything. Interior shoe display barrack, day. In this barrack, there is a display of discarded victims' shoes. BENJI and David are now standing next to each other. They stare at the mound of shoes together. It's overwhelming. In exterior mausoleum, day. The group arrives at the enormous spaceship-like mausoleum. They stand under it, dwarfed by the structure. We see them from behind in a wide. Interior van, day. The group rides back to the hotel. They are all in various stages of shell shock. As we move down the van, we see David sitting next to BENJI. BENJI is staring out the window, openly crying. David is heartbroken. Exterior Lublin Hotel, day. The group walks towards the entrance. Interior Lublin Hotel, day. The group enters the lobby.
If we can gather up here for a minute.
The group gathers around James in the lobby.
How are we feeling?
No one wants to respond. You're muted, Marcia.
I feel nauseous.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The group nods, understanding. James notices Eloge.
Eloge, how are you doing? I know you don't have the same advantage of distance.
I'm okay. I'm just glad I'm not completely a nerd to this kind of thing. I think that would be worse.
Marcia puts her hands on his shoulders.
Well, I'm comforted that we all shared that with each other. Now, to change gears for a moment, I don't want to rush anybody, but we are scheduled to leave quite soon for Zamzik. But also, I wanted to say we are losing our boys.
Benji and David nod.
That's right. Benji and David are staying here for the night and finishing their pilgrimage to their grandmother's house tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Shit. I'm gonna miss all you guys. I feel like we're a weird little family.
Yeah, me too. I feel that way too. Thanks so much, everyone.
The group ad-libs goodbyes to Benji and David watches as Marcia and Diane address Benji.
You're a very special person.
Me too, Marcia.
Oh God, no, I'm not. Anyway, you have my information. Send me a picture from your grandma's house. I'm genuinely curious.
Take care of yourself, honey.
Thanks, D. You take care of this lug over here.
Benji taps Mark's guts. Mark still hates him. Marcia and Diane both say goodbye to David, but without any fanfare or emotion. As they do, David can only focus on Eloge speaking to Benji.
You're like me, Benji. You're a seeker.
You really think so?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that means so much to me, man. I feel like you were some kind of brilliant sage in another life.
James approaches Benji, and this is hard for him to say.
Benji, I want to say I've been doing these tours for 5 years, and you're the first person that's given me any actionable feedback.
Serious, man? What did I say?
What do you mean? You told me that we should be meeting people, meeting local people, understanding local culture.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man, if you did.
And I have resisted in the moment, but I haven't been able to put it out of me mind. You lit a fire under me, Benji. Your honesty is so rare and welcome.
Shut up. Come here.
Benji hugs James, who has had his own private catharsis. David watches them embrace. With James's mop of hair buried in Benji's arms, it almost looks like Benji is hugging David. Q Chopin Nocturne 9-3. Exterior.
Actually, I'm
Sorry.
sorry to interrupt. I have to just go for 5 minutes. I'll be right back, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard to go without him. I'll read the rest of this, and then maybe we just have to take a quick break. I'm not sure how to do that. Or maybe I'll just read David for a little bit.
If you want, Ashley, I'll jump in and read it. I have no other lines for the rest of the thing, I don't
Yeah,
think.
let's do that. That's a great solution, Chris, until Joe gets back. So I'm coming back to the end of 81. Exterior Lublin afternoon. The boys amble around Lublin. There's a nice thwang between them. They walk above the Chechko River mural, a parallel black hole universe of the figures below. Exterior outdoor market afternoon. At a makeshift bazaar, Benji tries a funny Polish folk hat. David snaps a picture of it. Benji explained that he's going to buy the hat. David says, "Why would you buy the hat? I just took a picture. Do you really need to own that hat?" Minutes later, the boys leave the bazaar. Benji is wearing the hat. Exterior hill overlooking the city, dusk. The boys eat greasy shawarma and trudge up the hill. The sun is setting behind them. Exterior brewery street, night. The boys walk under illuminated flowers and butterflies. Um, Benji jumps to try to swat a butterfly. He doesn't even come close as David laughs. Exterior Lublin Street, office building, night. The boys are on the outskirts of town, surrounded by some taller buildings.
About this building.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking tall.
So,
I got one last joint.
how are we gonna get up?
Benji nods over to the building as a smoker walks out and lights up a cigarette. Interior Lublin building lobby night. A security guard leans against the desk. Pan off him to see our smoker enter the building and, in tow, Benji and David, like idiots trying to act casual. They nod at the security guard, who couldn't care less, and follow the smoker to the elevator bank. Interior elevator night. Benji and David enter the elevator with the smoker and press the top floor. They all wait in the elevator in awkward silence. Benji looks like an idiot in his hat. The smoker casually starts a chat. Something in Polish.
Cool.
Exterior roof, night. A quiet rooftop overlooking Lublin. We slowly pan to see a rusty industrial door. We now push steadily towards the door, which begins jiggling. Suddenly, it pops open and the boys emerge. Exterior roof, night. At the edge of the roof, the guys pass a joint back and forth. Benji is still in his Polish hat. Real quick, Joe, we are at the bottom of 83. You need to catch up.
I'm there.
Okay.
Yo, how you feeling, dude?
I feel good, man. I'm glad we went there today. Is that weird to say?
No, Broheim. You're connecting to real shit. It's living. You need to do more of that.
David nods to take another hit. He's noticing something in the distance.
Shit. You know what I think that is?
What?
Way down there. Can you see it?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's the camp.
Now we see it too, over the boys' shoulders in the distance. It's the Majdanek concentration camp.
It really is so close. You can see the guard towers.
The guys, stoned, just stare at the camp from the perch above the city.
Fucking creepy.
Fucking creepy.
There's a calm pause. David still has the joint.
So, what are you thinking about doing when you get back to Binghamton?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, what's your plan?
Benji pauses, uncomfortable. He notices David has a joint.
Yo, dude, give me that if you're just gonna stare at it.
Oh, sorry.
It's my last one.
Sorry about that.
Benji takes a long drag.
Yeah, so like when I get back, I'm just gonna be pretty busy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, my buddy Tim is re-roofing his house, and I'm probably gonna help out with that. He's got like a shit ton of Adobe, but he has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
Seriously?
Yeah, but it's gonna be sweet when it's finished, you know? It keeps moisture out better than plastic, toxic shit they put on bullshit suburban houses.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
They smoke.
But that's like Tim's house.
What?
I mean, you're working on Tim's house.
So?
So, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. Why are you asking me this shit?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure you're good and that you have a plan. I think I'm just a little stoned. Sorry.
It's all right.
They settle. Benji stews. Something's not sitting right.
So what are you gonna do when you get back?
Uh, go back to my job and my family, the usual.
Cool. So I'll look forward to speaking to you in 6 months.
What does that mean?
You know what it means, man.
Do I?
Yo, I don't want to start anything.
Cool. Then don't.
Benji can't hold it in anymore, and he turns to David.
Used to be like different, you know? You used to be so emotional. You used to cry about everything.
Yeah, I know. It was awful. Who the fuck wants to cry about everything?
Benji finally turns to him.
Dave, you're not listening to me. We used to be, man, we used to be.
Benji, I have a son and a wife and a job. I can't just like hang out with you all night, every night.
I don't want that.
Yes, you do. You're like an all-encompassing person. I don't think you realize.
But you like literally never visit me.
You mean in Binghamton?
Yeah, that's where I live.
Well, I'm busy. And I live in New York City. Isn't it easier for you to come down to me?
It's the same fucking distance, Dave.
Yeah, but it's New York City. It's the more logical place to visit than fucking Binghamton, all due respect.
What's wrong with Binghamton?
Nothing's wrong with Binghamton. You're just purposely making me look like an asshole for questioning it.
Fuck off.
You fuck off.
Why don't you care about me anymore?
What does that mean? I do fucking care about you.
I never hear from you anymore.
I'm standing 3 inches from you. We're sharing the same fucking joint in Poland.
Yeah, but you only came here with me because I tried to kill myself.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Benji, don't say that.
You did, Dave.
Yeah, well, it scared the shit out of me. I walk around with this terrible image of you in my head, and yeah, I don't want to fucking lose you, okay? In my mind, you're like 1,000 feet tall and constantly sawing off your own legs. And I put in so much effort, so much fucking effort to be just base level normal, to just hold down a normal job selling ad banners to the internet, to have a stable marriage with someone who's 100 times better looking than me, to raise one child in the most expensive city on earth. It all feels like 24 hours of panic just to have a base level of normalcy, to just show up and to get to zero. And I look at you and it scrambles everything that makes any sense.
Yo, dude.
Don't call me fucking dude. Don't call me that right now. I mean, look at where we are.
There's a silence. It's very tense. Benji is shocked by his David's sudden surge of anger. David calms down and he speaks quietly and with emotion.
I don't understand why you would ever do anything so fucking stupid to yourself. If I had your mind, Benji,
What,
if I had your mind, I'd be fucking president.
Dave?
Do you see how people love you? Do you see what happens when you walk into a room?
Benji's got tears in his eyes.
I would give anything to know what that feels like. To know what it feels like to have charm, to feel easy, to feel fun, to light up a fucking room when I walk in.
Benji nods, trying not to cry.
But you light up a room and then you shit on everything inside of it.
Cue Chopin's Nocturne 55-1. Interior Lublin Hotel hallway night. In slow motion, following the boys as they make their way back to their room. Interior Lublin hotel room night. The boys enter their hotel room silently. Later, David is lying in his bed, reading on his phone. Benji emerges from the bathroom, having showered. The mood is bleak.
You can go.
Thanks.
David grabs his shit and walks into the bathroom. The shower turns on. Later, the boys are asleep in their separate beds. Interior Lublin hotel room morning. The next morning, David and Benji are packing up their stuff. They don't speak to each other. Interior lobby dining area day. The boys silently eat their complimentary breakfast in the hotel dining area. David's phone buzzes. He checks it.
Taxi's here.
Interior Lublin Hotel day. Through the window of the lobby, we see David and Benji load their bags into the trunk of an old, colorful taxi. Exterior countryside day. The taxi passes through the countryside, passing a little road marker for Krasnodar. Interior taxi day. The boys are in the back of the taxi on their way to grandma's town. Exterior Krasnodar town square day. The taxi pulls up to the town square. It's got a quiet midday feeling. Shops line the square along with simple three-story apartment buildings. The guys step out of the taxi and get their bags from the trunk. Exterior town square day. The boys, holding their luggage, traverse the town square.
You see a 25 anywhere?
I don't see any numbers anywhere. I think it might be around this way.
Exterior side street near church day. David leaves Benji around the corner, passing the St. Francis Xavier Church with a massive wooden cross erected in the parking lot. David directs them towards an alley. Exterior alley in the front of the house day. They approach a little alley that looks like it hasn't changed in 100 years.
I guess that's it.
David points to a little address above the door. 25.
Is that possible?
So unremarkable.
Yeah. I don't know what I pictured.
Me neither.
They're trying to have a feeling about the place, but it's not coming.
You know, she slapped me once.
What?
Yeah, Grandma slapped me.
Shit, really?
Yeah, I was late to meet her for dinner, just like 15 minutes, and also I was pretty high. It was at the Hudson restaurant on Third Avenue in the purgatory of Murray Hill.
Right, I know it. Did it hurt?
Yeah,
Wow.
but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was literally, I was literally elated for full 24 hours after that.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it was this fucking restaurant. She went every week. Everyone knew her there. She was dressed mad formal for it. Like it was some big occasion. And I don't know, the fact that she cared about me more than looking good for the restaurant. I don't know. It made me happy.
David looks at his cousin, then plops his suitcase down.
I got an idea.
What?
Let's put a stone on the stoop.
What do you mean?
I mean, let's get a little stone and put it on her stoop to say we're here, that she's not forgotten.
She's not buried here.
So what? This is the last place she was in Poland, the last place any of us were.
Benji's touched, and they put their bags down and look for a stone on the ground.
I found two. Here you go, man.
Thanks.
The boys approach the apartment and put their stones on the front stoop in front of the door. They step back and look at what they've done. There's a nice feeling. After a moment, they hear an older man calling out at them in Polish.
Yo, I think he's yelling at us.
The boys look back on the balcony across the alley. The older man is berating them in Polish. David tries to reason with them.
Hi. Sorry, sir. Americans. Americans, English.
The man gestures for them to wait and walks into his apartment.
What was that about?
After a moment, the man emerges with his 20-year-old son. He points at the boys and then talks to his son in Polish. The son nods. Hi, you speak English?
Yeah, what's the problem?
Oh, yes, hello. My father said that you placed rocks on the stoop of that apartment?
Yeah, we did. Our grandmother used to live there, and she died.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thanks, man.
So, why you put rocks in front of the door?
Oh, it's a Jewish tradition. When you visit someone's grave, you're supposed to place a stone on it to signify that you were there.
Yes, but she's not buried under the door, right?
No, she's not. It's more of a sentimental thing, like a gesture.
Oh, I see. Sentimental. Yes, I understand. This is very sweet, I think.
Thanks.
The son explains all of this to the father in Polish. Benji and David watch as the father talks for a long time to the son. The son finally nods. Yes, I'm sorry. I understand your situation, but my father says it is a hazard to leave the stones. An older woman lives there now. She could trim. David and Benji nod, a weird feeling of resignation. They calmly walk to the stoop and remove the rocks. Not knowing what to do with it, David puts it in his pocket. Benji puts his rock in his pocket too. It's bittersweet. Cue Chopin, 15-2. Exterior Krasnotov Town Square day. The boys walk through the town square with their bags. They exit frame, the two continue, and the town continues without them. Interior, exterior, taxi near Krasnotov day. The boys in a taxi on the way back to Warsaw Airport. Interior, exterior, taxi, Warsaw. We see the sign for Warsaw Chopin Airport. The taxi turns off the exit. Interior Warsaw Airport day. The boys walk through the airport. They are not speaking but comfortable in each other's presence. Interior airplane day. The boys are awake on the plane, each lost in their own thoughts. Interior JFK gate day. The boys sit at the gate with the other passengers. They walk through the airport. Interior JFK baggage area day. The boys are near the exit of the airport.
Hey, I was thinking, why don't we grab a cab back to the city and you could come over for dinner?
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I know Priya would want to see you, and Abe would love to tell you every fact about the Empire State Building.
Benji laughs.
Tempting.
Come on.
Benji looks around, considering.
Yeah, it's okay, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's at least split a cab back to the city, and I could drop you at Penn Station for your train upstate.
Benji thinks about it.
You know, Dave, I think I'm probably just gonna hang out here for a bit.
At the airport?
Yeah, I kind of like it here. You meet the craziest people.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
David looks at his cousin in the eyes and then slaps him right in the face.
Ah, Jesus, what the fuck, man?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
How the fuck did you do that?
Because Grandma, the restaurant, You said it was the best thing that ever happened to you.
It's different. I was 18. I needed direction.
Oh, sorry, Benji.
Jesus. Can't feel my ear.
I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
Benji rubs the side of his face.
She really loved you.
She loved you too, Dave. She just knew I needed a little more, you know? You were fucking set, and everyone knew that.
Really?
Yeah, man. You're golden, pony boy.
I am?
You know that. Come here.
David is overwhelmed. It's just what he needed to hear. Benji pulls David into a hug and whispers in his ear.
That'll be fine, man. Okay?
You sure?
Benji pulls back and nods. David can't take it.
I'll see you around, cuz.
David brings Benji in for another hug. David has tears in his eyes, but he holds it together. Cue Chopin's Etude 25-1. Interior cab day. David is in a cab going back home. He's looking out the window. Interior cab day. David passes Lafrak City in the massive Machpelah Cemetery. All of this Jewish history right next door. Upward mobility and death, the cycle. David takes it all in, a part of it all. Exterior Brooklyn Street, day. David walks down the street towards his apartment. He steps in front of his building, takes out the stone, and places it on stoop. Interior apartment, day. David enters the apartment and drops his bag. He calls out to his family that he's come home. Priya and Abe run to embrace him. He lifts his son into the air. He kisses his wife. His life seems so nice. Interior JFK Airport, day. Back at the airport, and a repeat of our opening shot. We are slowly zooming in on a crowd of travelers as the music rises. As we zoom in, we notice that Benji is sitting alone in the airport bench where we first met him. He's looking around, watching the strangers go by. Anyone can be a friend. We zoom closer and closer until his sweet face fills the frame. The title reappears over his face, A Real Pain. The end. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. I like to sit and chat about the film for those that want to stay. If you cannot stay, I know Mariah and Chris, you guys have family obligations, etc., but you're welcome to. Let's have a chat. If you need to pop off, thank you so much for being here, and you guys do what you
Thank,
need to do.
thank you, everyone.
Um, so I love this film. And it's not always that I say I enjoy the script that I read. Sometimes I am honest and say it was poo. Obviously, this one's nominated for a reason. Um, and um, I like a good character driven story. Like that is right up my alley. I was surprised by it when I read it because I all I had heard was about two cousins going to like a pilgrimage trip to Poland to honor their family members. So I was actually surprised to have more of that relationship and the character of Benji, and the mental health issues and the family struggling with mental health of a family member. And that to me was the stronger story and was surprised. I was surprised by it. So anybody else have a thought or a take about that relationship or the overall storyline?
I was gonna say me and Mariah watched the trailer for the movie earlier, and I was like, this doesn't really, to me, seem that interesting. But
Mhm.
actually getting to read the script, I'm like, okay, this is a movie that we're gonna need to watch.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where, like, there's very few movies for me where I'm like, okay, the trailer didn't hook me, but I need to see this. And
Mhm.
actually reading the script, I was like, this is a really not just heavy film, but it's also got its moments.
Mhm.
And honestly, it seems like it's a great film. So I can't wait to watch it when we get a chance to.
Yeah, it's really and it's shot really beautifully as well. If you know if you do watch it, but like even just going off the characters that he built in Benji and David especially, but even the little supporting characters had great little arcs in them. Who else had some thoughts about maybe the contrast of what they thought the movie was going to be and what it turned out to be?
I came into this not really knowing what it would be about at all, just not having heard a lot about it. But I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot here about mental health, maybe even more than people think. Like we eventually learn about OCD issues, and then we've got to think a lot about Benji's issues. He seems like he's manic, right? They don't
Mhm.
really bring that up any, but he has, it almost is unresolved, right? Even when the movie ends, he's like this unresolved manic. And where does that go? And it leaves you wondering. And then there's of course, all the other themes, some that Benji brings up, just the whole Holocaust, you know, tour being itself a huge, heavy kind of thing. So it's a comedy, and yet it deals with a lot of very heavy stuff, including some stuff that is sort of beneath the surface. That and a lot of the mental health stuff is beneath the surface, which is fascinating.
Yeah, I found it very fascinating that they didn't really ever put the mental health issues like on the nose. It wasn't a story about mental health, right? Like the story was completely different than what I found the actual story to be about. Does that make sense?
Mm,
Maybe I'm contradicting myself, but like
yeah, I
it
hear you.
was all about the Holocaust tour and this, this Jewish history of like coming to, but it really wasn't about that at all. It was about this 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 family member struggling with mental health and how do they handle each other. That
Yeah.
to me
There
was the story was
there were layers to it.
yeah, so good. So
I
good.
think I think to me, this very easily could have come off as like a cliche going home to find yourself story, and it wasn't that.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
I think it had like a lot of like what everybody's talking about. It had this depth of character, and I think all of the characters had, even like the supporting characters had depth. Like a few months ago, I read a book, and now, of course, I can't remember the title because it is like after 10 o'clock in New York, but a little zonked. But I read this book with the synagogue book club that I'm in, and it was about this tour guide who gives tours of concentration camps to Israeli youth and European like dignitaries, and about how the doing these tours changes a person, and like how the different groups kind of impart different um, knowledge or different personal responses to things. And I think that, as you said, like even the supporting characters have like an arc of change. Like Benji and David's story clearly has an impact on these like basically strangers. And here they are standing in all of these sites, and we're told we have this like prescribed societal feeling that we're supposed to have, this catharsis that's supposed to happen, but for some people it doesn't happen. And so we hear all of these going home stories, particularly around tragic events like the Holocaust, where these families go back and you find like there's a resolution at the end of these stories. And I really liked how Benji was left unresolved. I really like how Benji was left, back exactly where he started. Like, yeah, he had some moments of and he had some like really brilliant moments of like truth.
Mm-hmm.
But those little pearls of truth, it didn't do anything for him once he got back. It didn't change him in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think David is actually changed. I think David really has like this like arc of change, and Benji, in comparison, has these moments of change, but he doesn't know what he's going to do with the rest of his life. And I think that he lost in his grandmother really the only guiding light, and David is trying to fill in a hole, but there's no person who can fill that hole.
Mm-hmm.
And Benji has to kind of learn to live without that, and that's why I think he likes talking to the strangers in the airport.
Yeah. I
Well,
like,
or is he homeless? And is that
yeah.
where he lives? And he's giving him because he's like, yeah, Binghamton, and he's kind of making up all. I don't know. It just sounds like, but
It's a different
I
movie,
think
Mike.
what's that?
I said that's a different movie. That was The Terminal.
That's the
Rubin.
Whale Pain 2, ready in about a year.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I think it leaves it open to
Yeah.
interpretation of that, right? And
Yeah.
it's
No, I agree. I was trying to be
yeah,
funny.
yeah, no,
I
no,
failed
I didn't
pretty
see that
badly
one,
at
but
that.
I know you're talking. I remember that movie. Was that with Peter Dinklage? No.
I think so. I know it's got Tom Hanks.
Oh,
Oh, the
okay.
airport one?
Yeah, the one where he lives in the airport.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
can't
yeah,
get in
yeah.
through. He doesn't have the right visa, and he can't get in through like
Yeah, he
Oh,
can't
yeah,
leave the
things, so
airport.
he can't leave the airport.
yeah. But yeah,
Well,
it was good. Yeah, I agree. Like the Benji character. I think he changes everybody. I mean, he
Mhm.
wasn't wrong in his little speeches, like about what they're doing, and
Well, I think the relationship has changed between him, like Benji and David relationship is what really changed. I don't think it was so much each of the characters because David still comes home and still sells his ads and still has the nice life, right? He was able to get off of his chest when he needed to, right? And I think that is like what was actually changed was that relationship.
yeah. Well, yeah, he
Both of
says it at
them,
the very beginning, right? Like, do you want to talk about stuff?
yeah,
And he's like, the guy's about what? And about what
yeah.
happened? And we don't know what happens until like, a third of the way through and he loses it at the
Well,
dinner.
and David just walks on eggshells all the time. He's just a little nervous Nancy, right? And he finally is able to express himself and his frustration with Benji and his hurt by how Benji you know, he looks up so much to him and then like just shits all over it. Like, right? It's like he's able to finally express himself to Angie and his anger and anybody I don't know, anybody's relationship to suicide or survivors of suicide or whatever, there's a lot of anger in that survival, because it's you take it very personally, it's like, how is I think it's the relationship that is the biggest arc, rather than individual. Like they're never going to be the same again. They're never going to be those boys traipsing through New York, David falling asleep on like that's never going to happen again. And Benji knows that, and David knows that, and now what, right? I just thought it was fascinating. It's just a fascinating character story.
I also saw it as kind of an interesting parallel that Benji spends most of their time over in Poland, kind of reminding everyone of like where they came from
Hmm.
and like how, regardless of whatever's going on in their lives, like think about the people who came before them and the things that happened. And then
Hmm.
at the very end, he ends up in the exact same place.
Hmm. Hmm. That is interesting. That was interesting. What are you guys, what are your notes and thoughts about the supporting characters? Marcia and Diane and Eloge and James.
I think Mark needed a few more lines, but Eloge was for the
Yeah,
lines that he had, he was very fleshed out. Eloge especially. Yeah, he was one of those ones where you could hear like what he went through, being part of the Rwandan thing, and how like it gave his character enough time without that much screen time. You really learned who these supporting characters were without them overpowering the complete and total story. All of them.
Were you able to take in how Benji was affecting you in playing those supporting roles?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was definitely one of those ones for me at least where like you could see the progression how they were at the beginning, and then like Eloge was kind of an open book. Mark was he's like I'm on this trip, and but
Hmm.
like you could tell that he did not like Benji, and you could hear it whenever he was saying something, and whenever he was talking to Diane, he was one of those things. He's just like I don't like you,
He's the
and
only person that didn't like him.
yeah, and you could feel that, and I think with Mark, it was one of those things where he was normally the charismatic one in the room. If you notice at the beginning, he was cracking jokes, trying to. He's like, "I'm funny," and then Benji'd, for lack of a
Hmm.
better way to put it, and was that charismatic, always rolling that 20 person,
yeah.
and Mark wasn't.
Hmm.
And it affected Mark in that way where he's like, I'm not funny. I don't like you.
Yeah.
I really thought that another way that the like the co-characters kind of were fleshed out was in the direct screen direction.
Hmm.
Like the way that the shots were described. I'm like, I didn't have to watch the movie to get it as either because they're only in it, they're in it a lot of pages, but those moments are kind of very brief because we are really more focusing on Benji and David's story. Um, Anytime where they had like a lineup of who was standing next to who or where they were present with each other or who was paying attention to who also really kind of elicited um, strong reactions or responses to these co-characters, to the co-stars. And like, um, there was a lot of opportunity for those characters to display who they were without really having to share too much of their own story. Because each one, like, maybe only shared, what, 12, 13 lines about their self
Yeah.
or their reason, some even less than that. But we still felt something for them. We still felt something for this group.
Well, I think
And
that
I think that,
is inherent in the plight that they are currently on, right?
Mhm.
Like the whole reason that they are there in this Jewish life and me not being Jewish, like I definitely looking in on as a observer in this, that you immediately
Mhm.
care about why they're there. And so even if it's just a few lines, you're connected to that light. But that did lead me to an interesting question about why we had those characters. Why couldn't it have just been Benji and David?
I kind of felt like it could have been just the two of them.
Do you think?
I, yeah, I
How
mean,
do
it was
Thinking,
interesting. It was an interesting breakup a little bit, but I don't think that they propelled the story in any way.
how did Benji act differently to the other characters than he did to David?
I think,
Well, he was
yeah,
very charismatic around them. I mean, you could see because of them, you could see the difference. I was thinking he was bipolar, to be honest, because he
Yeah.
has those ups and then he has those severe downs. So I was thinking he's probably bipolar. And but could it have been done without the other characters? The only thing that it showed was that he was charismatic, and you could get that anyway.
But
I think
how
that's
did
how I thought.
how did David react around the other characters versus Benji?
Well, he was very apologetic.
Yeah, he's very nervous, right? So
Yeah.
I think that the other characters 1,000,000% helped us understand who these brother or these cousins were. Mike, you kind of raised your hand a little bit.
well, yeah, I just feel like Benji kind of weaponized all the other
Mhm.
people and used them to his advantage to either gain sympathy, pity, praise, adoration, or try to make, it was like they were little kids and you're like, I didn't do it, he spilled it, Grandma. And I couldn't tell, was there a romantic thing with Marcia and him?
I think he was
Oh,
flirting
I
with
think he was
her, but
maternal.
But at the same time, it was probably like maybe like a grandma thing. Like he needed,
Yeah.
and she was, a divorce, but had a new guy. I don't know. It was
I kind of
strange.
I
Strange.
kind of felt it as like he was playing the cougar card and just kind of
Yeah.
like playing into that to make her feel good about herself, right?
Mhm.
I don't think there was actually a thing, but I don't know. Who knows?
Well, he
I
said
was
like
gonna
'cause
say,
he left the room at 2 in the morning, and he's like, I was hanging out with Marcia. It's like, what?
I
What?
kind of saw it as him take like David going to Benjamin, like, dude, like, you scared the living shit out of me. I didn't know where you went. He was like, oh, I was just comforting this other woman from the tour. Like, it was fine. Like, I didn't do anything stupid. Like, that's kind of how I read it. Like, because at that point, I think we just learned that David tells everybody that Benji tried to commit suicide, attempted
Mhm.
suicide. And I think now David is also kind of feeling a bit of guilt about sharing that tidbit with everybody.
Mhm.
So he's like, "Oh shit, I just shared that you almost, you committed suicide, you attempted
Yeah.
suicide and um I may have weaponized that to try to gain sympathy for myself, and now you're out like with this person who I told, and
What did they
you know,
say?
what did they say? And like
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that nervousness of what did they say I said? That
right. And like also like you just did something 6 months ago and now you left in the middle of the night in like a huff and I didn't tell you I was leaving. There's like a lot of dynamic, and I think what the other characters did is it showed the different ways that Benji could play people. Like he was good at seeing people. He was very charismatic. He was an empath when he needed to be. He was a shoulder to cry on. He was all of these things, but it was all ways that he could get into people to make himself also look
or feel better.
or
To
feel
me, it
better
felt like
about
a
himself.
mask. It felt like a mask every time he went
Yeah.
on. He was like, I'm gonna be this person now, because I need everybody to feel like I'm okay and they're okay. Versus like David's mask is more like, I'm just gonna stay out of the way and make sure everybody's okay. I'm sorry, like it was just a different kind of mask. So
Hmm.
when they were together is the only time that they were really themselves until the, explosions or whatever. So I
I
thought,
agree. I never saw the charisma or the pulling away from everyone as anything other than their each own individual way of masking is
Hmm.
how I was gonna put it. Because with Benji, I don't feel like he was necessarily trying to manipulate everyone. I think he was just trying to be whatever version of himself he thought each person needed. Like
okay, good.
he
Hmm.
because Marcia was meant to be in her 60s, so arguably he's probably around the age of the children she says never calls her. So he was probably, she said that the same day that he ended up hanging out with her later that night. So there's a good chance that he went to hang out with her just because he didn't want her to be alone. Um, but I never saw it as anything other than the two of them just dealing with their problems in two very different, very not healthy ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, the way you said that, to be the person that he thinks they wanted him to be. That's
Hmm.
very interesting. That's an interesting way of putting things. Yeah.
And
It,
Benji's
it,
really good with strangers. We know that because he goes to the airport and he'll talk to anybody, an arms dealer from Lithuania, wherever this guy's from. And so he's good with strangers, but he can't take help. Like he probably could have gotten help from the guy his from David, right? Like, hey, come to dinner, you know.
Mhm.
But when you're sick, you don't
Yeah.
want help if you don't know.
This is so
He
interesting.
may not be ready to confront it yet either, though. Like it
Yeah.
might have been arguably easier for him to confront everything that they saw over in Poland than it is for him to confront his own things.
hmm
I
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah, I feel like these characters could be studied and studied and studied. Hence the Academy Award for Kieran Culkin. Um,
I was kind of waiting for a twist where maybe Benji wasn't even really there at all the whole time, and it was like David was
Yeah,
all alone.
I,
Like it could have been like
I was too on that one, Mike.
it
I
was
really I really
like a
was
sixth
too. I was
sense,
kind of
like
waiting for that being like, with that like twist, but I'm really glad that it didn't come
no,
in
no, it's
this.
good.
Yeah.
I'm really glad
no
it ended
Deus
the
ex
way it did.
machina. No, no God to save the day. No, it was just a story. And I love that. It was just a story.
I love that it wasn't trying to be something it's not. It was itself. It didn't I like that it didn't have any of those like what I kind of see is if done well, they're great, but like those kitschy things like the person is actually a ghost the whole
Uh-oh.
time,
Did I freeze or do you guys freeze?
or this person they weren't really in Poland, they
Yeah,
were
it's a dream.
the dream, and it's so overdone. It's really refreshing, I think. And I talk a lot about this in writing is like um it's really refreshing when it's honest. Like this was like a really honest like slice of life
Who's
piece.
stuff?
Uh
Oh,
shit,
Janine.
piece.
Okay, she must have had to go.
Um, I really liked how it was like a slice of life. Like it was real.
Hmm.
Um and it dealt with a whole lot of issues. And it didn't really focus on any one particularly because it was just like these two cousins, like what a week with a family member could be like. They're dealing with one of them is not really happy in their job, but they're like feigning happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Their homesickness, um, career,
Yeah.
grief, mental health, a suicide attempt, like all of these things, these are real issues that people deal with and families deal with every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it gives a lot of voice to that, without being like, we're a mental health show.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I found so interesting is it wasn't on the head. It wasn't like on the nose.
Yeah.
I found a lot of the right and Jesse directed it too, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so writer director, and I always find reading a writer director script very interestingly different than a writer that is trying to sell their script because the writer director is literally directing the movie within the script, picking the music and all of that kind of stuff, and I find that interesting. Sometimes it's a little distracting too, though, because I want to be able to have my own movie in my mind but at the same time, like the writer wants you to have his movie or her movie. Like, no, I want you to see it the way I see it, right? Um, like I am not super well versed in classical music. I enjoy it, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which concerto each of these pieces were, right? So to me, like, why did it need to be in the script? To me, it was a little distracting. But somebody that knows music might actually understand the connection to it. Anybody else have any
She's
distraction?
Polish.
She's Polish, the musician.
Uh, Chopin is Polish.
Oh, okay. So the Polish,
So I think it was just something to sort of like tie in the themes of everything and like the potentially even like repeating some of them at like certain moments just to kind of sort of tie it all together.
and
Yeah.
listening, I mean, watching the movie and the music is beautiful in the movie, right? Like it's it's not a matter of that was the wrong choice of the music. Did it need to be written into the script?
I feel like it's at least on this one out of the script. I feel like it did. I feel like even if
Okay.
you don't know it, you know it's a classical piece.
Hmm.
You can tell that just by the way that that you read it, and it's one of those things where it helps set the mood. You're like, okay, this isn't like a hard rock song in the middle of
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
It's a classical piece. It's a quiet scene. It's quiet this, and then it's such a turn when Benji starts playing the jazz, and it's the first time that it's or the bar mitzvah one, and then stuff like that. It's subverts your expectations on it, and I think that's another reason why it was written into the script.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things where they wrote it in there so you have those classical
Oh,
pieces, and then when the music changes, then you see it's something different.
sure.
For that one scene.
Yeah, that's a great argument for sure. Anybody else?
I just well, one, I also realized that the airport is named after Chopin too. It's the Warsaw Chopin, the Chopin did there. It's late in New York. I'm a little like, but I
Hmm.
just like Googled Chopin. Um, and it looked like there was also some um things. So he was alive in the 1800s, and I think there was some stuff about anti-Semitism in his music. But I don't know because that's like what we say about it now, or what some people have said about it. Um, it could be it could be very specific on Jesse Eisenberg's part of why he selected that particular music. And
Hmm.
I think maybe I understand what you're saying. Like sometimes like when the director is the writer and the writer is the director, it feels like we don't get a lot of room to like explore the universe ourselves. We're kind of prescripted. But I think in some instances, and I think maybe after watching the movie, it'll be more clear to me is like why he selected the music he selected and why it was present in the script and not like something that was done in post. Like it may have been something that he utilized for actors to listen to before they perform the script. Like it may have been something that they wanted them to be like to inspire or to,
Yeah.
to give them kind of a context of a place. Because Benji kind of
Mhm.
even kind of nails on it a little bit. He's like, we're like, we can't get in trouble here. How would it look for two Jews to be arrested in Poland?
Mhm.
Because Poland historically, even before um, the Holocaust, was very anti-Semitic. So, like, I wonder if Jesse Eisenberg was kind of looking not again as another one of those like commentaries,
Okay.
like I don't know, but I wonder if like that could be something like another layer of this is here you are in this place that was and still is in a lot of ways or can be anti-Semitic.
Mhm.
And yet here we are sitting in this great city on this roof and you're staring at a concentration camp.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that's like another kind of another thing I really liked about this script was that it wasn't this as much as the tour was a prescriptive tour, in the moments that kind of went off the prescriptive tour script, it was very deep in that like wondering like what
Mhm.
does it mean to be in Poland? I was actually surprised that the grandmother's house was still there.
Mhm.
Like I thought the term was gonna be they were gonna get there and there was no house. Um,
I like it better that they found it
yeah,
and then they didn't feel anything.
right.
They're
Hmm.
like, we want to feel
Yeah.
something, but then they weren't feeling. They're like, okay, this is disappointing, anticlimactic, I
Yeah.
guess, in a way for them.
Like the connection wasn't to her house, it was to their
Her,
grandmother.
into
Right.
her strength and perseverance and the miracles, the hundred
Hmm.
miracles, is that what you say? Whatever. I don't know. I loved the script. I loved
Yeah,
it.
I did too.
Um, and it's just always interesting. I like to try to point out when it is a director writer versus a not director writer because it's very different when you read the scripts. Um, you can definitely tell. So it's interesting to me.
I heard him talk about it, and he said he actually put he had pictures in this
Hmm.
from his real life trip there, and he put in like actual pictures of him in all these places and his family in these places, and he had it like inserted into the script,
For
and he
the
sent it out to people like, "Hey, this is my movie."
This is the movie.
And he's like, "You don't do usually you don't do that," but he was like, "I don't care." I mean,
I
Yeah.
and
was
he
gonna,
I mean, he's already
kind of,
Jesse Eisenberg, so
yeah
Yeah,
I was
he
gonna
was.
say kind of like as a reference too.
Yeah.
yeah, as a reference
Like,
tool, but he was also, I guess he said he wasn't looking to write a traditional script. Like he was like, I don't, he goes, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
I
think
think I think this is one of the first ones he ever wrote too. I think this is
Yeah.
his first directing one.
yeah, he's definitely
So
newer in the behind the scenes and the creations
Yeah.
of versus just being an actor. But
I
uh,
kind of like as somebody, who performs, I like to come to a character myself, but I also like when I get guidance on what somebody wants, like what the director wants or what the writer wants of the character because I don't want to be wrong.
yeah, but that's going to be the death of your acting there, babe.
Right.
So it's you got to bring to it what you bring to it, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. However, a director should be able to guide you in um, more of a direction of a director should direct you, right? Like where's the story going? Like what is it that you're trying to achieve
Yeah.
and get? Like what do you want out of this? What does Benji want? What does James want?
Yeah.
What is like that director should be able to understand and help you with
Yeah.
that. But as far as how you see the character and your journey with that character, it's got to be all in your creativity. And as soon as you go, I want to do what the director wants me to do, that's when you're gonna go off the rails.
Yeah, I think I had just I can't remember exactly like the last time I was on stage because I do a lot more stage than I do film. Like I think there was a director and the writer, and the writer was in the rehearsal, and it was a staged reading, but it was like on book, but you were like had props and things like that. And the director would tell me one thing, then the writer would come in and like tell me something else, and I'd be like, okay, but I'm gonna do it this way. And then the writer was like, no, that way. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do it this way.
And that's frustrating when you've gotten multiple things. But like if there's confusion, then you need to be asking, well, what what is being said and why?
Right.
Right. And where's the story? What are we trying to what's the story we're trying to tell?
Yeah.
All of that should be in the writing and in the
Right.
direction. And if they're saying, "Oh, you need to be mad here," it's like, well, okay. Then you got to create a reason that you have to be mad. But any director that's telling you you have to be a certain emotion is not a great director, to be honest with you. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, most directors I work with, it's only like a word or two about the scene, like more urgent,
Yeah.
faster, slower,
Right.
Yeah.
like
We're like,
in,
hey, let's break down what the scene's about because I think there's a
yeah.
misunderstanding.
I mean,
We're
some of
not
them won't even do that because that's your job. Like, and look, you got the job, right?
Right.
So like they
yeah,
trust your abilities, right?
Right.
But I mean, like
yeah,
Tom Hanks says, show up on time, know the text,
have an idea.
have an idea, and that's it. And they'll
Yeah.
tell you if the idea is good or bad.
Yeah,
And
and
usually they don't say anything. I'm like, is that okay? And they're like, yeah, we got it. We're moving on. I'm like, you sure?
yeah.
And then I'll becoming like this needy actor guy, and I'm like, ah,
Yeah, no, like I just I'm sitting there going, okay, they like told me to make a lot of noise, and so I'm making a lot of noise, and then they're like, put this in your hand, and I'm like, why would I be holding that? Like, why am I holding the mixing spoon, like, or whatever, or like, I want this rhythm of the bowl with the spoon, and you're like, I got a script and a bowl and a spoon on a music stand, and the bowl is gonna fall off. Like, what do you want from me? But I think
Well, that's all like
like
blocking.
technical blocking stuff. But I think like the I think I like that his script was non-traditional with the music, and I like that he included the pictures. I think it just it elicits a feeling.
Hmm.
And the feeling like I don't want to be told to be mad, but I sometimes you need more than just a word to inspire you. Sometimes you
Well,
need the music to inspire you.
exactly. If you see the location, you don't have to imagine the location in your head.
That too. Yeah.
Put yourself there. Like,
That's
okay,
that's what I was thinking with the pictures.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's a visual reference.
yeah,
You don't have to go, okay, well, I've never been to Poland. I've never seen this town square. How is it, okay, and then you picture like a town square that we'd have over here in the
right,
United States.
right. And it's
Our town squares
completely
are
different spots.
very different.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you're like, okay, and I don't know this exact town square, but if he puts a picture of it in there, then when you open it and you see exterior, Cresetan Town Square, you look at it and you go, okay, that's where I'm going to be standing.
Hmm.
That like
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to feel.
Yeah.
So I agree with Rebecca. I love the fact that it was a non-traditional script.
Yeah, I don't need
It's
JFK, but I do need Poland. You
yeah,
know, like hey JFK, no, I get JFK. I understand JFK, but like I think like just yeah, it was more about like I don't want to be told what emotion to feel, but I want to be able to like as an
visualize.
actor, yeah, as an actor you have to visualize so many things. And if you've never been to a place and you're trying to visualize this place and this history and it's nice to just a little have a
Yeah.
non-traditional script.
Sure. Absolutely.
Not always. I mean, if you just look at it, if you look at like a Shakespeare, you don't need it. Like you figure it out, like, you know. But I think for certain things, there's also a level of this play deals with a lot of sensitive topics.
Hmm.
It deals with Holocaust, anti-Semitism, Rwandan genocide, um,
Mental health.
mental health.
Mhm.
And these are all things that I think,
Jewish grandmothers.
yeah, Jewish grandmothers, those things can be rough.
Grandmothers in general, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's I really like just in general like the fact that it's a non-traditional script, the language that was used, it was very true. I think I said that, but like it's not it doesn't make light of any of these things.
I really liked that all that Marcia said afterwards was, I feel nauseous,
Hmm.
because I visited the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., and specifically walked through a room where there was a sort of bridge, and on either side of that bridge was rows upon rows of shoes, just like they said in the script. And I did this in high school, and I just remember that afterwards, I don't think anyone spoke for 3 hours. You've got 80 high school kids, choir and theater kids at that, and none of us spoke for several hours. And so all of the whole thing just being images and no one really commenting, and at the end, all that is really said is that I feel nauseous, was kind of just the best way to describe that feeling when there is no real words to describe the feeling of seeing something like that.
I like that James didn't pass on that moment. I like that James was like, wait, hold on, before we go back to like modern life, like back to like today and like the next thing, like I think we need to take a moment to reflect. I think that was a growth in James.
Yeah, for sure.
I liked some of the sub. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What? No, 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 no. I was.
Well, some of the subtext when James was narrating and it was going over them, like about the war history or the history of like the two, like the Russian and the German and the Polish, and nobody was, they were all fighting against one another and they were going, it was like so subtextual to what
Mhm.
their relationship
Oh
was.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that was
Mhm.
really nice.
Yeah,
I
there.
also like that he was British.
You like
Yeah,
that James
he's
was British?
British, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff. I feel like it's definitely a script that you could find more of every time you read it. So watch it. Well, you guys, I know that we're kind of wrapping up. We're at the end of the class. Thank you all for jumping in last minute. Mike, thank you for coming in as well.
Oh, thank you for
Oh, I
having me.
hope you
Nice
got some
meeting
value having some working actors
It was
on your
awesome.
class today.
I enjoyed tremendously.
you.
Thank you so much for joining us and helping me through this. I loved
Yeah,
reading it with you guys. Thank you.
This was
I
your
did too.
first
It was
lead role
great.
in a table read.
That's right. The last one was fun. It was small. This one was a big one, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
You handled it.
No,
Yeah, you
thank
did
you.
great.
You guys were great. Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, you guys, please keep in touch. Mike, I'm gonna have you audition for some more stuff this summer if you're available.
Sure, I'll be around here. Yeah.
But yeah, I
I was gonna
enjoyed
say
having you
you're
all.
always willing to reach out to us too, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, have
anytime
fun with
actually.
the baby. Enjoy it. I know it's hard
Yeah.
those first months, but gosh, it
Yeah.
goes by so fast. So just soak it up. Give her some smooches for me. Even though I don't know her, I love little baby squishes smooches. Is just the best. They're the best. All right, you guys.
She's
Have
90%
Have a good night. Thank you,
All
Ashley.
right.
Thank you,
night.
Bye.
Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.